the Hebrew Israelite stuff, huh?
Yeah.
He's a buster. He is a buster.
You know what I forgot to do, yo? I forgot to press the button, the broadcast button. But yeah, I just want to just know if anybody in the link that just came in. I actually tried to start it. You know, I'm having little technical problems with this. But yeah, just wanted to just actually just go over the video that I made the other day, since it was a lot of noise in the background. A lot of people left comments or whatever. I just wanted to touch on it. We wanted to. I got brother Chief Holiday with us or whatever. Like I said, every week we're gonna be doing. It's just actually just an extra I was gonna do just tonight. Um, but if you here with us, we here. We'll be
Aboriginal power.
talking. No doubt, no doubt. Aboriginal power, like you said. Um, we just gonna be going in on this or whatever. So I mean, I know it's kind of late on the East Coast. But if you're anywhere else throughout the wilderness in North America or throughout this other part, the other continents, then just check on in. Probably be a great show. All right. Say, Chief.
Yeah, that's what's up.
I
Hey,
actually,
shout out to the family, man.
you know
Huh?
what? Since we got the viewers in the house, let me play. Let me just. I mean, you don't mind if I go back over the do the intro over?
Oh, absolutely not, man. Hey, peace to the family,
All right. No
man.
problem.
Call them all the great ones, man. All the great ones, man. You know, the ancestors are still here. Shout out to Yafa Bay, the Empress Yafa Bay. Ogilby to the family.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. Um. Yeah, man. But that was a decent show, man. I ain't expect it to come out like that. I mean, like I said, anytime the information is out there, it's always gonna be a excellent show though. But just to have her come through, like you see how the energies be working, you know what I'm saying? And that was definitely like I was wowed by that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't really get wild too easy, you know what I'm saying? Especially in the state of mind that I've been in the last couple of years. But I was definitely because I didn't hear y'all for years. So to have her come through, give her spill, to touch on what the word of Tanchan mean. I mean, it was definitely excellent. So, if you want to build on something, let me just hold my articles up, and I also wanted to touch on John Ogilby in my comment, well, in the link, and said that Europeans don't believe that he existed. I'm gonna read a little bit of his bio, and like I said, I will be going back over that article in which we read, which I read from I believe it was a peer review studies. It was a study of cranium or whatever. But I'm gonna be going back over it. All right, I'm gonna let Chief build. Let me just open up my research or whatever, and we're gonna get with it. All right.
All right, that's what's up. Oh no, man. I mean, I've shown. Um, okay, listen. You know, we didn't go dig up any of the our ancestors or any of these things, but the scientists that was trying to debunk the work of the great, some of the greats, like what we're just gonna use one, Dr. Ivan Van Sertima's work. They came before Columbus. Um, yeah, I mean, so and shout out to Elijah Muhammad, you know what I'm saying? Because he had said this that basically like when he used to say stuff, you know what I'm saying? He knew that the devil was gonna do their best to try to disprove what he what he was saying, and that's basically this how this is. You know what I'm saying? You got a you got a lot of people, and that's why I say I challenge people. You know what I'm saying? To debunk. Go do some research. Don't be so emotional. You know what I'm saying? Go do some research. But a lot of, but getting back to these guys said, nah, that's not true. They're mongoloids. You guys wasn't here. You guys don't have nothing to do with these pyramids. Aliens built the pyramids. Anything but our ancestors. So when they go and they to Brazil and they dig up bones and they find Lusia and they do the craniology and all these other things or whatever, the same test that they're using to dig up people in other parts of the planet. Um, that the and craniology, brothers and sisters, is the oldest and the most accurate um, way to identify who these people are. So just keep that in the back of your mind. So we're using the same measurements, same science they're using in other parts of the world to identify these people. Okay, so You find Luzia in Brazil. She goes back 11,500 years. And then they find Naya in Mexico City, which they say she's was a teenage girl, or whatever bones is. They say they go back about 12,000 years. And I've heard different bones or whatever, but these people took out the time to do reconstruction or whatever and come out. They saying that it wasn't Mongoloid. They're saying that they're Negro. This is what the science. Now, we say we squad hunting over here. Hashtag squad hunting. I challenge these squads who are going against this science. This is proven science, the same science that they're using to match their black asses, Africa and Kemet. And it's interesting, one group in West Africa, other groups in Kemet. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. But family, I was there before, so I understand. But it's overwhelming evidence, documented evidence that has been presented that cannot be refuted. We have archaeological sites. I just seen some stuff last night, family, in the Northeast corridor, Connecticut, Massachusetts, places like that. They have hundreds of miles of stone walls. You know what I'm saying? We don't know who built those. And they was just, I'm doing the research on them, reading up on stuff and listening to stuff. And they're trying to say that everybody but we built that. They're trying to say the Europeans. They're trying to say the aliens built it. They're going to say everything but our ancestors were building these, what they're calling Stonehenge in America. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's interesting, man, that people are fighting so hard against documented evidence. I just think that's just interesting, bro. What do you think about that?
Well, no, we already know, man. You know what I'm saying? I found it interesting. I'm still bugging off that El Dorado on the City of Gold, man. I'm still bugging off that. And I also heard gold in the Carolinas than they found. And I forgot what other somebody commented that on me. And like I said, I get so many comments, and like it's hard to research everything. It's hard to really, but I believe the people in my comment, because most of the time when they put something in the comments and I look it up, it's 100. So you know what I'm saying. The people and subscribers, a lot of people and subscribers do excellent research. But you know, it's just like, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to give up because we'll run out of things to talk about. But for the most part, like I said, you got anthropology evidence, you got stories from your family, you know what I'm saying, whether or not they dancing around here with a war bonnet on, or they at the powwow. They might not never been to a powwow, but your grandmother sat right there in that living room on that couch and said, I'm Cherokee. You know what I'm saying? Or told you ain't no African. She ain't never been to a powwow. You ain't never seen her with Dancing Eagle or Deer Feather or none of these people who claim to be Native Americans. But she sat right there, probably drunk her little wine or whatever. For me, I'm like I'm saying, most of my grandmothers lived in the projects. You know what I'm saying? We lived on them was the other reservations, the projects. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, my grandmother, she always told me, she always said, I'm Cherokee. She's like, I'm not no, and she used to hate the word nigga. She used to hate that word, yo, with a passion. But like I said, you got the oral, then you got people such as, you know, I know this Montanez is one person, but I never really got into John Ogilby. I have a lot of his pictures and I never really took the time to really look him up though. But you got people putting Negros on the maps, man. You know what I'm saying? On the maps, how they found them with these pictures. And they like, oh man, they must have got these wrong or something. Like, look, man, look, the gig is up, man. Like, you know, I don't know what you guys want or what you don't want, but they showing you it's just too much, man. Like, look, I would have been gave this whatever my research was up if I didn't feel like I was at least like 80% right, but now I'm 200. I feel like I'm 200% right on where I'm going. Yeah, there's some rocks that's unturned. there's some information that's not correct. But when you take into account, like I said, John Hawkins, Sir Francis Drake, that was the end right there. When I heard that, and then I put that together with the story that the slave ship was robbed and the slaves came in 1619. That's pretty much it, man. You know, it's like that. You know, you got that. You got pictures. They showing you pictures of all the people in Virginia. They never found tobacco until they came here. That's the reason why they show you all these images with people with the feather crown on, the whatever you want to call them, skirt. Now niggas say they don't wear skirts or whatever. I'm definitely not wearing one, but I will wear a tobacco skirt and throw that feather crown on, you know what I'm saying, and tap back into, you know what I'm saying, what the ancestors really was wearing or whatever. They wasn't running around here. Our peoples wasn't running around here doing what they was doing, wearing what they was wearing. I think all of that fashion became later on was out west. But for the most part, like I said, man, for 200 years or 150 years, you figure if they came in the 1600s, man, 100 years later, you damn near, I ain't gonna say you forgot your tribe, or you damn sure forgot your tribal customs. But you know, like I said, your grandmother or your family member held on to that. That was like, you know what I'm saying, that was something that, and then a lot of times, like, you know, you got a lot of old, like a lot of our elders, they put a lot of things in their Bible, put like their hair in their Bible, or put like, you know what I'm saying, their birth certificate and notes and everything. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these things you probably could find if your family had Bibles or something that was passed through the family or whatever. But I know for the most part, you know what I'm saying, like I said, my grandmother told me, my father, for the most, he didn't know. He still don't know. I'll be talking to him now, telling him, you know, that's not really his interest, but he definitely pay attention sometime when I do talk to him about it. But you know what I'm saying? Another thing, what I was finding out, that the word raccoon, they refer to in the savannah as raccoons. That's where the word coon came from, because of the dark under their eyes. They said it was so dark, you know what I'm saying? And man, it's a lot of information out there. I'm just one person doing this, along with there's many other people doing this, but I'm just trying to just get like a straight narrative to where we can really say what really happened. We know in 1619 we got two stories. We got one story of a damn Indian being in 1614 and came back in 1619, which was Squanto. Then we get the other story about the Virginia, in which they said that John Hawkins and Sir Francis Drake was sitting on the coast waiting for the Spanish to take the gold out. As soon as the Spanish take the gold out, they rob the ships. And then what you thought? They brought them back to the Americas? No, they took the slaves, they took straight to Europe. You understand what I'm saying? They took straight to Europe. And this would make sense why they use a lot of these images on their family crest. When you look at these crests and you see these Negros on it, you wonder why you see these Negros, because these Negros coming straight from the Caribbean. And also the other crest, the one that Tariq Nasheed like to use with the headband. And they show you, you know, you familiar with that one, Chief?
Man, listen. Speaking of Tariq Nasheed, yes, and I am aware of that. I just like to say this, man. I haven't seen the movie 1804, but I did see his narration of it or whatever, you know, and what was going on. And as soon as he started out, he said a slave population. He called the Haitian people a slave population. Are y'all following me, family? So he's already casting a spell. Tariq, quit, cut that shit out. Quit giving us the same imperial cracker information that they giving us on, and giving us the same narrative that all these people were slaves on the island of Espanol or island of Haiti or whatever y'all want to call it. Whatever. The point is that these people are lying, and even when we are telling stories of whether it's Nat Turner, whether it's they say it's a slave rebellion. So it's how they are describing the people of Haiti, family, and that's the problem. These people are indigenous to Haiti. They are not transplanted from Africa, or they were back, or they were just taking us back and forth from the mainland to the Caribbean islands. And we were already making that trip, trading and whatever else prior to Cristobal Colon and these people coming here. And we got to call these people by their real name. It wasn't Amerigo Vespucci. It wasn't Christopher Columbus. They did not speak English. So when they're translating words, Nasheed, Tariq, you should know that these words that you're using, like slave population, is fuck shit. And that's how we stay in a loser position, family. So I say this all the time, man. You know, I hate when you see them on Fox or something like that. They're like, oh yeah, you suspected white supremacy. No, they are white degenerates. We do not say white supremacy. We say white degeneracy and black supremacy. See, it's how you look at yourself. It's how you cast these spells on your people. That's what Tariq Nasheed is doing with 1804. That's what most of these scholars are doing when they're talking to you. And we're calling these Negroes out, and they know we're doing it. They have that ashy look in their face. Like when you went in on Garfield, he had that ashy look on his face. When they try to deflect, call you pseudo, try to pull all these other things out their hat, when they know, like you said, bro, the kid is hey, it's kudos, bro, man. The work that you're doing, man, the research that you're doing. Family, listen, man. You have checkmated these fools just in the videos that you have done. When you pulled out information that showed information that said, okay, that they called the so-called Indians Negros, that's checkmate. That's over. And that they were in a form of servitude, indentured servitude, or apprenticeship, or whatever. That's checkmate.
Yeah,
so listen, we have empirical data, real researchers, real things that's going on, and you guys have feelings. Amistad, a Negro cemetery in New York. You have nothing. We have everything. So I just don't understand how this is still a thing. And so that's why we have to be a little bit more aggressive. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, make being Aboriginal sexy. Just like they made Africa being sexy, we got to make being Aboriginal the first, the ancient, the original people of this landmass. That's why we're losing, because we socially believe that we are from somewhere else, that we got over here by pissing and shitting on each other. That's a goddamn lie. That's why we're losing. So yeah, I reject any losers conversation, any defeatist. When you call yourself an African American, you're already surrendering. Here, yeah, I surrender. Here's yours. It's not. You're not gonna fight no more. So yeah, man. I just got blocked too off of Yvette Carnell's show, because she's going in, right? And she's going in on. She's like, yo, these Africans, they come over here, they don't click up with us, and they don't do all these other stuff, and blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? And because she had read something that was talking about like scholarships and things that they get when they come over here, different prejudices and stuff like that they have, blah 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 blah, right? Okay. And so she said, you know, so I'm like, oh, okay, well, so I'm in the chat room like, well, the reason why is because we're not African. We are not African. They don't fuck with us. They're never gonna fuck with us. They're never gonna come and be a part of our struggle. You can't cry to them about our struggle because it's not their struggle. Y'all see where I'm going with this? I said this about Barack Obama all the time. He don't know our struggle. He's African Jewish. What do you know about our struggle? He grew up with the Jewish people. So
he actually Jewish. And you know what's funny too about the whole event? Correct. I mean, whatever her name is. Check it out. I was on her live chat too on Christmas. She was dressed up, drinking eggnog, dressed up like an elf, saying Merry Christmas, calling people African American. And she's a very intelligent sister. I'm not gonna front. She's very intelligent, but she's only intelligent in the studies that she studied. You understand what I'm saying? That's what people only fail to realize. You know what I'm saying? You got people with these, like I said, degrees and everything, and they sit there and stand on these degrees. You know what I'm saying? And like I come in the room, I come in the room, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I come to the room just and I pull people up on shit. You know what I'm saying? This is how I was showing the Dominican dude the other day in the store, right? Me and him was talking and I was showing him the images or whatever, right? He like, man, these just pictures, man. He said, you can't believe everything you see on the internet, man. I said, you can't believe everything you learn in school. You understand what I'm saying? When I told him that, he was like, yeah, okay, all right. That just changed his whole opinion to where he got to fix himself up. He got to fix himself back up and brush the dust off his shoulders and keep it moving. Because once, like I said, when you do your own research, man, you find things that just not what you've been told. And everything you've been told from the, like we said, from what's my man name that made Roots? Man,
Alex Haley.
from Alex, the whole Alex Haley Root story to whatever we got now from DNA. You know what I'm saying? And then, like I keep telling people, there is no Native American DNA. There is none. And when you read, when you look, you do the research yourself. It's not. It's only going to tell you. And like I said, you know what I'm saying. From my understanding, okay, I'm not a cis. I'm not. All this shit's common sense with genetics, man. Genetics. We all share genetic markers. Even if you from
That's
Africa,
right.
they test the same people in Australia, Papua New Guinea, and Melanesia. We gonna get the same markers that they got. You understand what I'm saying? Because we got melanin. We have melanin and we have the same texture hair. Some of us got certain eyes that's consistent, certain eye traits that's consistent with them, certain physical traits that's consistent with other people. If they was a test, like I said, somebody from the Pacific Island and test us, we'll probably have a match to them. You know what I'm saying? So don't think because you have a match to certain people in Africa that's accurate. And like I said, and it all has something to do with what you put down, what you tell them that you are, because they go off of what you tell them.
Right.
If you don't tell them, then I wonder how it will come out. Let's say if you are black and you be like, nah, I'm white. You know what I'm saying? Or you put you're different. You put down you Chinese or something and see if it come back to Africa and see if it come up all these different markers. That'll be something for somebody. I'm not spending no money. You know what I'm saying? I did a
But
20.
300 a pop to give you a probability though. So Dr. Dr. Rick Kittles is protecting his interests, and he said himself he only knows about West Africa. He only gets a lot of his samples from West Africa, and a lot of those are misleading because once again, they took Aboriginal people from here and set up colonies over there. So when we talk about the Mende and you talk about all these different people, you're talking about languages. Once again, they're beating us in conversation. You know what I'm saying? They're beating us because they're telling the stories to our children. They're painting the picture first. Like, you know what I'm saying? So they can say, okay, well, and then even when you're telling somebody something, you could be talking right to them and show them the evidence. It doesn't matter. They have been indoctrinated in this conversation for so long. I can't even I can't even imagine because I kind of went back to the ancestors and kind of what I mean, like, so I didn't get it the way a lot of people are getting it right now. Like I couldn't imagine if somebody like myself was coming up to me when I got Public Enemy hat on and a you know what I'm saying, an African medallion on and talk about X Clan and all this other shit, right? I couldn't imagine somebody coming to me and saying, "Yo, bro, we're not from Africa. We from here." You know what I mean? I don't know what I would have did. I don't know. So I have empathy for you guys, but at this point in 2018, we cannot still be stuck on stupid. We have too much empirical data. And that's what Dr. Ivan Sertima, who used to roll with Dr. Ben, who absolutely said that he said that Africans have came to the Americas thousands of years prior to Columbus. So he and Dr. John Henry Clark also toured and believed that we were Aboriginal to the Americas. But his study was in Africa and connecting us back to Africa, which is not. I don't have a problem with that. But I feel like in order for us to get allies, you have to negotiate, right? we can't negotiate from a position of dumbness and position of ignorance, position of weakness. That makes us weak because we don't have no economic base, which we should. It should be an aboriginal everything, protections and everything, and for our people. You know what I'm saying? Like how, like they have like a, you know how they got this social services for people. Well, Jewish people have their own social services for their people. They make sure that they're not gonna fall off. They make sure they get jobs and make sure that certain things, whatever. That's what we have to do from the
Yeah.
Aboriginal standpoint.
You know
Shout
what?
out to Dr. Hakeem Muhammad too,
Work
because you know
though.
he's on something though. Go, brother.
No, go. I said, you know how that work though. How that work is, one person always try to take the whole, you know what I'm saying, profit or proceeds. And that's the problem now. That's what the church do wrong. The church do wrong because the church take the whole proceeds and don't do nothing for the people. So when you see, you know what I'm saying, and that's the problem, you know what I'm saying, a lot of them take, hold on, let me just hit some of the people in the chat. I was actually looking for this little article. But yeah, man, they take the whole proceeds, man. They take all the money instead of buying a road. Like I got a pastor, right? This joker riding around in a Rolls Royce Phantom. Aborigine joker, man. He don't even know where he's from. I pulled up on the side of him, you know what I'm saying, and rolled the window down. I rolled the window down one day, right? We was at the light, right? Time, right? He got a brand new, probably like 2000, I ain't gonna say 17, but probably like a 2014 Rolls Royce Phantom or whatever. And I rolled the window down. I said, yo, man, when you gonna show the rest of us how to get one of them, man? You know what I'm saying? And he was like, man, you gotta believe in God. I said, what? I ain't disrespect the elder because I ain't want to come off. He probably was nervous to roll the window down in the first place, but say that. You know what I'm saying? You know, why you riding around a Phantom anyway and your people still poor? You should be riding around a Honda Civic or Prius. You know what I'm saying? What is the enlightenment of riding around a Rolls Royce while your people still fucked up? So, you know, it's a lot to be said. And let me ask you a question. Before I go in on this article, I want to ask you a question. What do you think about this Omar Johnson situation? Have you heard about it?
About the what situation?
About Omar Johnson.
Well, listen, fam. I've already, I have a problem with anything African centered. I have a problem with um, the African centered education, and then obviously, to me, that's a plan. That information was planted by these people. So you're getting a European, Eurocentric, um, education. So I think that's the wrong way to educate our children. And I
Now, what I
also
was
believe.
asking, Chief, what I was asking you was, you know, Omar Johnson got a situation going on now that I guess they trying to take his license from him, and you know what I'm saying. This is from I guess this is what I see. They trying to take his license from him or whatever.
Well, I'm a rebel, bro. So soon, if they would have said some shit like that to me, I'd be like, man, I don't need y'all license to liberate my people. If I haven't done anything wrong, you know what I'm saying, and I'm driving down the street and the police pull me over and want to take my license, yeah, I could beat that, I could fight that or whatever. But if I could still drive and get to where I need to get to without their driver's license, I'm fine. I didn't check for his license when I was getting information from Umar. I'm saying that Umar's information is dusty, it's old. He is coming from a loser's perspective. Marcus Garvey was a loser, and the other cat, Frederick Douglass. Do I got to say more about that? He was a swirler, loser. So I don't know why we would say, "Hey, children, that's a hero that we need to be following after." So his whole blueprint was wrong in the first place. So yeah, I just think the fake is going to get exposed. That's how I look at it. But I'm not one of those type of people though that's going to be all out here in the public shooting at a cat. I'm just saying I wouldn't think that if he was real about this, he would care about their licenses. And he didn't need their licenses to come into your churches and take your money. That's what I say.
see me different, like, you know, all right, with the whole African thing with Umar, I believe he's an African, but for him to tell us as a whole, and he's too intelligent not to know that there's stories of us being his land, and then people like him would just shoot it down completely and say, man, you got a lot of people who talking about they not Africans, talking about that they're Americans, and I believe that you got a lot of jokers like him come out and say a lot of, like, you know what I'm saying, a lot of like comments about us who trying to connect ourselves to our kid. Fake stuff if you say you're not African. Whatever, but I got that from them. They told us who we was. That was one of the first things, you know what I'm saying? You run around here with fences on, you run around here with fences, you run around here with African medallions and shit like that. And then when they come over here, they want to wear polo, they want to wear polo, they want to look like the European. They don't come over here. A lot of Africans got that. They wear IED sometimes. They go to church, they wear their entire. But why they only on the plantations, they wear what the Europeans wear. And they act accordingly as the European. You know what I'm saying? But I don't mean myself, I don't rock with none of that religious stuff. If you're not telling us that we Israel or we Hebrew or anything, and I know you got certain problems with that, but you know, like we talk about, we do know that, you know, Judah is a real tribe, and Yahudah, or whatever you want to say, it did exist, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of this, like Algonquin and writing, a lot of that derives from certain, like, Hebrew and Arabic scripture. You know what I'm saying? And like I was doing some study on Algonquin today, and a lot of the wording or letters is consistent with certain letters in Arabic and Hebrew. And if you, like, you know, would see the European use vowels. So he used a lot of vowels in place to where, you know, a lot of the letters and stuff would be different if you would look at it from the tribal perspective or the indigenous perspective. But once the European, he started on, like, me ain't never think Massachusetts was a tribe. You know what I'm saying? Or a lot of these towns in which they, you know what I'm saying, that they talk. I live in Jersey. It's, man, listen, it ain't nothing but, like, it's a school called Weequay. Weequay. You know what I'm saying? We call it Weequay, but it's really Weequay. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of other, like, if you go further up, like around Morristown. If you go up around Morristown, ain't nothing but, like, Indian, like, little lakes and stuff like that. And there's actually a tribe, the Lenape, I believe, I believe they got a region up there somewhere in that area. And I just read an article on them, and somehow I guess it was like how from 2017 these tribes have a problem with staying on land, and like they can't keep their land or whatever, like, and that's the fucked up part, because they, you know, you get forced to move on Indian territory, or you have to, like, listen, like, if you're indigenous or whatever, like, you shouldn't be have to pay no taxes. None of that shit. You shouldn't pay no taxes. If you choose to work, you can work. You should have, like, certain, like, WT termination where you could terminate the tax or whatever. Like, them things should be a no-brainer for indigenous people. That should not be something that should have to be still talked about in 2017. You know what I'm saying? That should be something that's just straightforward. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, these people, you know, they just land with, all right, boom. This is what they got. But you got enough, they have enough employees that come here, enough of the other people who come here from these other continents or whatever, that shit, they probably, a lot of these people come from these other countries, man, they probably get tax and tip. They probably be tipping the tax. You know what I'm saying? Like, they pay their regular tax, and they probably add more into it. So, oh shit. You still with me?
Yeah, it was breaking up, so I had to come back.
Yeah, yeah, you know, like I said, like I was saying, no, but so let me just read a little bit of it. Just let people know. I don't know, like, The other day when I read it, I did read it pretty clear, but it was the noise. And what I forgot to do is on my when I edit my videos, I do have a way I can reduce the noise. And I just was kind of like rushing that day. I had to go somewhere. And I actually deleted the video so I couldn't go back and read and, like, you know what I'm saying, and re-edit it.
Hey, bro,
So
I think it's you that's messed up.
you said it's me?
Yeah,
So you can hear me?
Sound like you're a robot.
Yeah, let me look at this chat. Let me ask the chat. Let me go in this chat. Hold on. You talk, okay?
Mic check. How sound?
You sound good.
Okay. Yeah, you still sound terrible. What you say?
Mic check. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You hear me better now?
Well, yeah, I don't know if it's me though. That's messed up.
I know that's probably me.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. It would definitely. Here's the thing. I think some of these guys have been doing that for so long.
Yeah.
It would be like a pastor has made his money driving a Rolls Royce or something like that or whatever. He's not coming back and saying, "Hey, go come to the congregation one Sunday." But hey, look, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all like this right here. This shit's fake. Jesus ain't real. And if you believe it, it's like you believe it in Santa Claus. Right? If you say that at his congregation, you know that's gonna put his stuff in jeopardy. So I think it's the same thing with these guys, man. I really do. Because I really don't think, because Umar travels the world. Umar he has heard of Dr. Ivan Van Sertima. He's heard of him. He's heard of these people. He might even study, take some classes, undergrad and stuff, watch some videos, went to some lectures. So he's heard of Dr. Runoko Rashidi.
Hold on, hey, Chief. They saying you sound Chief.
Huh? Yeah.
Stop it. Hold on. Let me give him another mic check on both ends, on your end and my end. Can y'all hear me? Do I sound clear, or do I need to go in and go back out?
You better. You're not clear.
You say I'm not clear. You can't hear me clear?
Nah, you clear now. Yeah, clear now.
Well, I'm right here. I got the chat up. Shout out to everyone in the chat, man. Peace to the Aborigines. All right, so let me just go ahead and set this little video. I mean, well, I ain't playing no video. I'm just going to just touch back on this article in which shout out to Deanna. She actually sent this to me a couple of days ago. And like I said, when I was looking at it, she actually sent me a PDF for realhistory.com. So anybody who never been on that website, this brother actually been out for a long time. Is realhistory.com. Matter of fact, I'm actually gonna put it inside the chat or whatever. But she actually sent me this, man, and it just stood out. It was like basically, it was what I was looking for. You know what I'm saying? Like, this was a piece of the puzzle and what I've been looking for. And it was very easy to put together. It wasn't nothing real. I had to do a lot of additional research. You can hear me, Chief? Chief?
Yeah, no, you're clear.
All right, okay, all right. So this article right here, right, in which it reads, it says, Negro skeleton remains found in Indian site in West Indies. See, they saying Indian site to throw you off because it ain't supposed to be no Negroes in the Indian site, right? So this is from a monthly review of anthropological science. All right, and the journalist or the journal is by Brookston. That's Buxton. Trevor. I mean, they're not actually. I guess if I go deeper, I'll find their full names. It's actually on the other. I'm actually reading from realhistory.com. But what it says is, it says the recent paper in the journal by Brookston, Trevor, and Julian. It's a man. I guess that's an acronym for monthly anthropology, whatever. So it's saying 1938. I say implies that an undeformed Negro physical type inhabited the West Indies in pre-Columbian times. Okay, so if these people saying inhabited pre-Columbian times, all right, so that means that was before any slaves, right? But see, at the same time, the same people, when they hear this, they believe that them people was no longer there. So where did the hell these people went? Where they went? When did new people just arrive on a whole new continent? All right, the oldest bones you got are of a Negro, but you saying, oh, well, these are Indians that was here. Like, when is people going to get smart? And this is actually, like I said, the fourth anthropologist, man. We got, actually, hold on. Let me pull my notes up. All right. So we got 4 anthropologists. We got Dr. Walter Nevers, James Chatter, and Richard Jenks. And now we got these 3 people, in which I guess if actually the full, I actually posted this in the chat. This Latin American study. LatinAmericanStudy.org got a lot of good research in it. But it got their references. I guess his name is L.H. Brookston, and then you got Julian or Alvarez H. Julian or whatever, because they got their name behind. But what it does say, when you go, because it has the cranium size, it has, you know, some mathematical expressions or whatever, and however they break down to determine whether or not it's a Negro, because they go by the cheek. They say they go by the cheekbone and the area where the nose is at. All right, so when you scroll down to page 51, it's not 51 pages on here, I don't believe, but let me see. No, it's not 50. It's only like a couple pages. But well, it says right here, when you go down to the bottom, right at the bottom left-hand side, next to the references, it say, we feel that it is necessary to make some observations concerning the skull illustration. Now this is saying plate D, I guess that's a person name. It say, had they been present to the first 2 of us without indications of prevalence, it say we should, on the basics of their high nasal indices, it say, and mark prognatism, it say hardly have hesitated to suggest that they were Negros. Okay, and when you either go up right here, it says, all right, so I'm gonna read the whole thing. It says skulls in which the facial skeletons are more or less intact do not show these features to such extreme degrees, but the circumstance under which they fell were found. I say with 2 cells at the level of the ribs, and they say with the handled vessel figured by Professor Hat over the face seems to argue against the likelihood of secondary interment after the introduction of Negro slaves in the 17th century, while admitting that the conditions of their final recovery were far from ideal. We are inclined professionally to accept a pre-Columbian date for the remains as a whole. Okay, so I'm gonna stop it right there, man. But also, if it go down right here, you got I guess it says it's perhaps not without significance that Sir William Flowers, 1895, committed on the Negro characteristics of 2 out of a number of Jamaican craniums, it say, of undoubtedly Indian origins examined by him. All right, so when you got people like this telling you, right, that there was already Negroes in that part of the Caribbean, but yet it all makes sense why Columbus referred to them as Negroes and Moranos and Indio and all these other terms in which they used that was passed on through the European. That's what you have to look at. When you look at the words, you understand. You understand now. You start shaking your head. You start saying, okay, that's why when these people go, when like they got the book called Negro Slaves from Terra Nova, Negro Slaves from Seville, and they say around 1501, slaves pop up in I guess I forgot what town. I don't feel like pulling an article up, but you guys already did pretty much seen that one already. But it say Negro slaves pop up in Spain and Portugal. Okay, because they was coming from Brazil and they was coming from the Caribbean. It was already in the Virgin. That's why you see all them Negroes in the Virgin Islands. Okay, but people, oh, them slaves, and people they killed all the Indians and then bought slaves there, and the slave, and then the stupidest thing is this: what people say, the Indians couldn't survive their own climate. That's why they had to bring somebody from another continent. How stupid is that? You know what I'm saying? So, Chief,
Yeah.
that's what you got. That's right there for your brother Garfield, since he like scholar. He like scholar information, and he think Jamaicans, the Arawaks was Negroes. All right, so we could go on and play with these terms. We know that the Tainos was created when the Portuguese came in. The whole most of the, like, they got different names of what they was calling the different tribes. Like in Cuba, they have a different name, but ultimately, when you look at it from a whole, all of them tribes was Arawaks. Okay, and we believe that the Tainos was created when the Portuguese came to the island of Richport. You understand? So, like I
Right.
said, that's for your boy. That's for your boy Garfield. That's some scholarly work right there. I also
Yeah.
got three other anthropologists that found three other skulls in in four different locations. And not to mention, there's probably hundreds more of these articles, man. It's probably 100 more, but understand this too. A lot of things that was found here in North America, what happened is the pseudo Native Americans grabbed claim to them remains. And then they say, since these are our ancestors, give them here. So then what happens is they don't have time to examine them because they making claim for them, even if they find them in the northeast, southeast part of North America. So, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Chief, touch on that. Let me see what they talking about in the chat.
I mean, it just don't make no sense, bro. I mean, it's just too much. We have these are the people that dug up the people in Africa that you're matching yourself up to. I mean, empirical data that says that the bones that they dug up in what is called Jamaica now are Negro. We've been saying this forever. They act like they don't have paintings of boats that go back 100,000 years, 150,000 years. People been circumnavigating or traveling this planet for a long time, and we can't go off of the pseudoscience and the agenda science that these people are teaching our people. And then we got so-called black scientists who that haven't went to school or anything. They just reading Charles Darwin's work and Zachariah Sitchin and all these other goofy people's work, and then they come in and say, "Oh, I'm gonna write a book, and I'm gonna tell my people about these white scholars' work right here." But what they're not telling the people is that just because it comes from a black head, it came from these white guys who had agendas. That's just a fact. And it's just interesting, man. I gotta say this. Dr. Rick Kittles, right, when he was on the Amara Squad, which I wish I could have been on there to ask him some tough questions. But this fool was like, he would admit some stuff like, yeah, man, haplogroup and all those other things and all that stuff is just made up. I don't pay any stock into that because he understands that it's racism and science. But he's using the one that makes him $300 a pop. So, and he'll tell you something, it's just only a piece of a glimpse into what you could be or what you might. It's a probability. It's a small probability, but it's more than what anybody else can give you. And that's his stick. So bones in the ground, black people. Bones in the ground everywhere, black people. Oh, here's the crazy part about this, right? You fools know they went to India, they went to Japan, they went to China, they went to the Philippines, they went to Northern Africa and created new tribes of people and then set up caste systems. And even once you push the Europeans out, they left their children in charge of the government and put them in power over the indigenous people there. That's in damn near every country. So you Negroes think they did it all over the planet except here in America, except in the Caribbean islands. They don't have a caste system in the Caribbean islands, really. The same play that they did everywhere else. So you Negroes are that gullible. Garfield, come on, cuz. Boo y'all, come on. Y'all can't be this goddamn slow, man. Y'all are not dumb people. So I've said this before, I'm gonna say this again, man. We gotta have this debate. So I know that we gotta have this debate. This needs to be in the open, and you Negroes are gonna have to stop pushing this bullshit. Because if not, you really agents. At this point, we can't keep saying this like, yo, this is important to the mental stability of our people. We are socially been pushed out. So we have to socially make these people correct our status. Make the United States government stand up and be like, man, make Trump stand up in front of the whole country and be like, yeah, I was wrong right there when I said that you don't look like Indians to me and you don't look like Indians to Indians. And yes, Dr. Yafa Bey was absolutely right when she said that he was not talking to white Indians, he was talking to the real Indians. Because he was being miseducated too. You know, he's Russian. So he's an immigrant.
You know what, though? He claimed that he claimed. Look, he claimed. You can hear me?
Huh?
I said he claimed that he's Indian, that he has Indian, and that's what's going on, pretty much. And look, let me just tell the people about, like, I believe I called 3 tribes yesterday. I called the Wapanaki again, and I called the Pinkwap, right? So so I got one brother on there, right? In which the next time I call, I got his number and everything. I'm gonna record him. But the brother who he referred me to, now the first brother, me and him was talking. Me and him had a good dialogue. He was like, yeah, man. He was like, everything we was talking about, everything I was saying, he was kind of agreeing on or whatever, right? But when he switched me to the other brother that worked in the museum, right? So me and the other brother dialogue was about, I started telling them that it was already black people here. So I said, the people who you think are black was really, the people you think was Indians was the black people who was already here in the northeast, southeast. They just confuse you with the people that they brought from the Caribbean. See, understand this. The ones, when they tell you, they said that they traded the Pinkwot for Negros, for Africans that was in the Caribbean. Them wasn't Africans, them was already the Arawaks, or the people who was already in that region, you know what I'm saying? So when they said that they brought them here, a lot of people think that the ones they brought here was Africans. No, they was just people in the Caribbean. You understand what I'm saying? And then, but when I was telling him, he was like, there's not, when I was studying Massachusetts claimed that they had so many Indians, like, to do whatever labor, whatever they need. They didn't need to bring Africans there. So, I was talking to him, and actually the dude hung up on me. You know what I'm saying? He hung up on me. The first brother, me and him had a wonderful dialogue. The second brother, like I said, he was on some cool shit, saying, oh, I'm Native American and African American.
Star 69 is that.
Huh? What? No, I got a number.
Star 69 is that.
Reservation. I mean, I called their reservation. They got a reservation number. You know what I'm saying? Yo. And then, they got everything set up because they got casinos and everything. So they get enough revenue. They got substance abuse. They got police. They got they got everything. You look at for people who never looked on one of these tribes. Look at the Pequot, the Wapanaki. It's hard to get in contact.
Have you tried the Washita tribe?
Huh?
Have you tried the Washita tribe?
The Washita? Nah, I ain't never tried the Washita. But you know what? I'm gonna call them in the morning though. I'm writing that down right now. I'm gonna call them. I called the Cherokee. I left a message for them.
Kansu, if you know Kansu of the Team Osiris, he is a member of one of the tribes, right? Well, this fool tried to debate me one time. Shout out to 6 Dynasty Media. And he tried to debate me one time over there, and he did not know that I knew he was a member of this tribe, right? So I summoned him, screamed him, right, and put that up on the screen. And he was like, "Yo, you, that's a red herring." I said, "No, why you been disingenuous and not telling these people that you're a part of this tribe?" Well, he said that he was just an intern. He was just their like accountant or some shit or whatever. But I had asked him one time, was he a member of the tribe? He said yes. I asked him another time. He said no. And then I asked him the third time. He said no. I think some of these people are getting money and they don't want everybody to know about it. I really do. I really do think there's some people. Now, he's a member of Team Osiris. He pushes the African thing in Egypt and all this other stuff, but is a member of a Washita tribe, y'all. Y'all can, everything I say is facts. Call me Chief Facts Holiday.
So you
don't fuck with me.
You said
Kansu. Tell him I said it. Yeah, tell him I said woo.
But hold up, he part of the Washita, but he one of the main ones that be pushing that African shit.
Bro, he's on the website. He's like they say he was the intern, but they put him on the website. He's smiling and everything. He's a part of the tribe.
So what did he have to say about that? He didn't elaborate on it. He didn't say, well.
He got mad. And then he just got mad. And he was over then after that. It was a wrap.
Why would he get mad?
He just got mad.
And then it's evident that it's out there. Like, all right, if you like, that's like you know what I'm saying? A joker saying he don't do something, and then you get strictly catch him doing it. Like, come on, how do you like? You know what I'm saying? Like, you saying that he's on the website. You know what I'm saying? How is he denying it?
Well, no, he couldn't deny it after I said it. He just said that was a red herring. You was wrong for that. You should. I thought it was fair game. I didn't get the information from me. I got the information from him. I guess he forgot that he said it. I don't know. But that's here nor there. The point is that he's up here, Team Osiris, coughing text and all this other goofy shit. But you are sitting on the board of a Washita indigenous tribe of America. That's all I gotta say. I don't have nothing else to say to you goofies. Keep fucking with me if you want to. That's all I'm gonna tell you. And I seen you I posted the thing you had called in the Sonetta of Garfield. I mean, listen, man, I'm like Freddy Krueger. When you say my name, bro, I'm going to come for you. Keep my name out y'all mouth, man. Y'all ain't never beat me in no goddamn debate ever, and you never will. Ever. Hey, you never will. I would never lose to you.
Hey, look.
Right here.
I was checking out a brother by the name of Raj Ben last night. I've been checking. Raj Ben used to be on KTL radio all the time. You know, he do a lot of astrology. Him and the brother I forgot the other brother Ra Cool. Yeah, he used to do a lot of astrology, but now he got a good video. And for people in the chat, check out his video on what he did about Benjamin Franklin. And he did something else about Philadelphia. And I see the sister warrior in the chat. Peace to everybody in the chat. Peace to Negro Sign. Peace to everybody in Child of Aborigines. But she always talk about Baltimore. I guess that's how you pronounce it, because he was saying you pronounced it Baltimore or whatever. It's a very good video, and it actually explained, like, and then he talk about Chief Tammany. That's the next one I'm gonna do a video on Tammany, Chief Tammany. I actually got some information on that. Though, but nonetheless, though, you know, he was going in on that or whatever. But the video,
you're great people to talk to.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Hey, you know what? It's rare that you find one of those a mongoloid. I don't even want to call him that, man. Like I'm like one of those type of people that try to separate us from our, I just say that I just want to put us in our proper places. You know what I'm saying? As a family, you know what I'm saying? So, but at Jay Winter, I think his name Chief Jay Winter, he had sat down with Mr. Louis Farrakhan, and he told him, he said that we started as Black Blood. I have never ever. He is the only one that I've ever seen say that. That was just like honest enough to be like, you know what? Yeah, I know. This is what happened, and I know that I have a little bit more European blood in me than my Aboriginal brothers, and so he kept it real with the minister, right? Do, do you guys? Oh my God, I love Mr. Louis Farrakhan, but he already knew that, family. He didn't look surprised. If y'all trying to see the video, y'all gonna see what I'm saying. He was like, "Yeah, but I can't speak on it because it's that Masonic secret." Y'all follow me? So, hey, man, so I just got to keep that real. So we got to keep that real. That's not an old secret. Like he knew his grandparents and great grandparents. He's from the islands. He know he's been there. Everybody know this, except for us smart dummies that went to these universities and was taught this dumb shit. And just because you read a lot of books, don't mean that you smart. I tell these fools to burn their books, bro. You read a book and say, "Oh yeah, this is it. It was in a book." Nigga, they wrote the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the coffin text is everything. It's everything. Forget the Bible. Let's just go with the coffin text. So we're gonna go with the other homosexual that translated that for you, Goofy. Come on, man. I'm not about to listen to you dummies no more, man. What about the text in this land? Whether it's Hebrew, whether it's this or that or whatever. Now keep this. Now y'all gotta understand this, right? America is huge. People been coming here for a long time. People been coming here and making babies dying for a long time, carving shit on dirt, rocks, burying people. So if you find a person that's in the ground in a coffin with a cross on him or a crescent moon and a star, that don't mean it's aboriginal to this goddamn land, man. Keep y'all niggas that say, "Oh, that was ancient. It be 100 years ago." Shut the fuck up, bro. And they know when they're doing this. Oh, this is a good one. Last night, I seen shout out to Poppy, shout out to Sonetta. They men defenses, because I think that brothers can disagree about certain things. We don't need to be fighting and stuff like that. But they had a real little situation that could have got physical. So they was talking whatever, right? Then somebody said something stupid of this 3/5 of the human being thing, and they be saying, "Oh, poor us. We only 3/5 of the human being." I'm gonna say this so everybody can understand this. That's not what that was meant. That's not what that meant. The 3/5 was if you have 5 slaves, you can only have 3 of them can vote. Y'all follow me? It has nothing to do with us being 3/5 of the human beings, because not all of us was in servitude. The majority of us was free. So what? Man, come on. So why would you only identify with being a slave? Makes no sense. And a lot of us can go back and find free people during this time period of slavery, which is only a short time period in this country, only a small percentage of people. But they have created a spell that made all of us slaves. I asked somebody to produce 1 freedom papers, just 1. You can produce all these old Bibles, you can produce old this, old bones, you can produce all this old shit, but you cannot produce 1. So, hey, nigga, you free. Here you go. Here's your paper. Because I can guarantee you this. If it's not a piece of paper that's valuable, that you would lock away, you would laminate, you would make sure that this thing is passed down to your family to make sure that your motherfucking family, the Freemans, are free. You would keep some motherfucking freedom papers. Can somebody please produce me some freedom papers? How about that? Y'all can't produce shit. And every time we produce something, Garfield, this brother has just put up, listen, he just put up the article, peer reviewed. Here you go. Archaeologist dug some bones up. Negro. So we've been saying this the whole time. But now when we come with the archaeology studies, the peer review studies, you guys are going to say, "Oh, that's pseudo." But you can't tell me that you calling people Jamaica maroons and relating them to Gilligan as opposed to just being the Spanish word for brown. Yeah, it's too
You know what? And
laughable.
that's another thing.
Y'all
That's
too
another.
dumb for me. Y'all gonna get called out. Hulu.
You know what though? That's another thing. See, that title slave has a lot of people like messed up. See, they think that word slave, and then you have to understand the correction to that. The word is not slave. We know that the Slavics was the real slaves. We know that we was indentured servants and we was prisoners of war. So you have to understand the two. You know what I'm saying? And like, if you was kidnapped, what would that make you? That would make you what? I don't know what term we were adoptee of what of trying to what of a new civilization or to be work as a servant or like you said, like when we look in the first 100 years, they show you that the people was not slaves lifetime. Only people who was lifetime slaves were the prisoners of war. Only when prisoners of war showed that they was willing to go along with what was going on, that they would give these people like positions to fight in the Revolutionary War, to fight in these different wars. When you see these people, these free people, that's who these people were. They was the people who was fighting with the British, which the United States, all that shit is the same. So you have to understand that. But when people say the Maroons or whatever, so he said there's a group of people who live in the Caribbean called the Maroons, who sovereign, who never been colonized, right? Now understand this. How is that possible? They never was colonized if they was brought over here to be slaves. You understand what I'm saying? If they was brought over here to be slaves, what they escaped and just was able to hide? Like how do you like you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of different stories about that too. But people got to do their own individual research. They only was calling them Maroons because the Spanish came in contact with them. We know they was calling Spanish, calling them Moranos and all that shit. So we know that when I did the video of like from the understanding of what they were saying Morano means, from like a perspective of someone of a Dominican aspect, or I know that if we move around to different places that the word Morano can mean different things, but for the most part they call us here in North America Moranos. Okay, they call us Moranos, so that has something to do with the word maroon. So I don't know how people want to relate that. I don't have the time to really do all the research, but that'd be simple. That's something that can easily be found. But the connection is the word slave. They think all slaves, or they think the word anything dealing with the word slave came from Africa, when they didn't come from Africa, when they came from Slovenia. You understand? So people,
Right. I
not even
mean, but it goes back to right. But
yeah, go,
it gets to
go ahead.
the trickiness though. They playing words because think about it. Even in the 13th Amendment, with he said slavery as well as involuntary servitude, right? I want what's involuntary servitude? What's slavery? So once you get to looking at these terms, these words, if you just work for somebody, you considered a slave. If you are subject of somebody, like most people in the UK, you're a slave. So when you an employee, a serf, uh, a subject, a subordinate, you are that you're a slave. So they're playing with these terms. You know what I mean? So they still are painting the picture that all of us are slaves and that we were only 3/5 of a human being. Well, like I said, every time somebody says that, family, y'all know better now. That don't say that. And the majority of the time even when they're teaching us something in school, they don't even teach us the right way. They'll teach us, say, an opinion. Or they'll say, oh yeah, this is right here in the newspaper. This is what this that was not the law though. So most of the stuff they're creating slaves. They're creating a slave culture, a slave mentality, a slave population. Tariq. I mean, I really take offense to that, family.
And he don't
I was
even
man,
know.
especially when you in a
Look,
position, huh?
Chief, check it out, right? He don't even know,
Say that
right?
again.
I said, check this out, right? When you speak to like, all right, I spoke to my dude down the hall, my Haitian brother, right? Me and him always be talking, right? So I asked him, I said, yo, have you ever had any connection or heard anything about Louisiana, like in Haiti history? He said, hell yeah. He said, yeah. He said, we speak Creole like the people in Louisiana. So I said, what? And I already knew that though, because you
That's
know,
like a second language.
exactly. Now, I already knew that, right? Because sometimes, see, what I do is this, right? Sometimes I get mixed up because you got some Africans that speak French. So sometimes I got Africans in my building that speak French or whatever. So sometimes when I hear the Haitians talking, sometimes I can't determine whether they're not they from Africa or they from France or whatever, right? So I ask them like, where you from? If I'm from France, I'm from Haiti. I said, oh, all right, okay, all right. So like you can hear them when you ask them, they tell you they speak Creole too. And like I said, and that'll make more sense because when the French left Louisiana, you think they went back to France? Which route did they have to take to go back to France? They would have had to go back up the Mississippi, north, but they went south. They went south out to the Caribbean, and they had people when they sold Louisiana to according to what they said, oh Louisiana, how you can't sell no land which people own or whatever, but however you put it, Louisiana person. My theory, from what I understand, is that the French took their so-called people out to the Caribbean. Okay, this is when you start understanding steamboats and all this other stuff that you start hearing like in the 1800s or whatever. But took them out to the Caribbean. Like I said, I could be wrong about this or whatever though, but this is just my theory because it makes more sense. It's all around the same time. They lost Louisiana almost around the 1800s. And when was the French Revolution? I mean, when was the Haitian Revolution? Around 1804 or around that same time. So as soon as they got there, according to as soon as they got there, they revolted. You know what I'm saying? So that makes a lot of sense too. You understand?
Right. So you didn't take all them people over there, and the reason why they won the war is because they knew the terrain up in the mountains and all this other stuff or whatever. And I mean, you had people that were fighting, so-called fighting for the French, that were still taking ammunition and different information and stuff and giving to the heroes. You know what I'm saying?
And that makes sense too. Look, because the thing of it like this, right? Think of it like this, right? They want you to believe. You hear me, Chief? Chief.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Think of this, right? They want you to believe that all these Europeans that was coming here was going to Africa and taking people from Africa, right? Now think of this, right? The Spanish, the Portuguese, and the French was all in cahoots with each other, right? So how was all these people bypassing each other? Just all right, we gonna go pick our just going. They already said the English and Britain and London was basically beefing with Portuguese and Spain and France. So how was France coming all the way down there past all these? You know what I'm saying? Because actually, to be correct, London is further from all of them, so they would have to come all the way around, unless they would go all the way around the other way to Africa, which that shit wouldn't make no sense. So they was coming here, taking their boats, and they was finding Negroes on the boats, and they was taking them back to England. So then they started doing that shit more often. You understand? As well, like I said, they had slaves here too. They had people that were sold from other tribes that was beefing with one another, and then they were selling people for European goods, whether it was guns or whatever they was giving them, clothes or whatever they was doing. You know what I'm saying? And that's the funny thing today. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't wearing no clothes when they got here, but you got Negroes who rob somebody for some sneakers, or they nigga rob a joker for a fitted hat. You know what I'm saying? And you rob your own people and kill them to get that bag. That bag ain't got nothing but a bunch of European presidents, and Andrew Jackson, and you know what I'm saying, all these people. When you do the research on them, they was the main one who held Indian slaves. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta really do your research, man, and really look at it from a different standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, like I said, you need You need to be able to do business in whatever they using. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they using, we have so happen to be using Federal Reserve notes. So you have to use whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever you can to get your resources or whatever though. But at the same time, like the things that you see jokers do, like let me tell you something, man. Um, I'll be going talking to these kids in the youth house in my neighborhood, right? So Exeter County detention center, right? So one of the young kids, right, he told me to check out a web series. Like, one of the you know what I'm talking about, they be having these web series on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So I checked the web series out,
I
right?
mess,
Huh?
yeah, I mess with them.
Yeah. I checked the web series out, right? So I was watching it, you know what I'm saying, and I was like, damn, I wanted to watch the whole series, right? But in the thing, in the whole what the understanding what I got out of it was I was like, yo, these niggas is damn fools. I said, if Negroes really think like this, we are fucking finished. You understand what I'm saying? Like if you see all these jokers do is rob niggas, try to get more, just rob niggas just to get poison. Yeah, but you rob niggas just to get poison to kill more people.
You must be
And
talking
that's
about money and violence.
exactly, and that's another thing what you learn. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the kids that I talk to, that you have to pay dues to whatever evil that you worshiping. You got to pay dues, and that energy is real. Just like they tell you that these people take these blood sacrifices in Hollywood. People do that shit on the street every day, and it's like the more people, it's like they reap souls. The more people they kill, the more power they give, and the more people look up to them. Oh shit, that nigga wild, and you know what I'm saying. And like I said, man, you never see none of these jokers stand for good. Know that niggas out here doing this foul shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, a lot of stuff I seen in that web series. Like I said, it showed me the reason why I wouldn't want to be connected with any type of, you know what I'm saying, any type of criminal activity or any type of activity where it's definitely like, you know what I'm saying, killing your own people. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing you gotta look at. These drugs, all these drugs that come in, where do they go? They don't go to the African community. They don't go to the Indian community. They don't go to the Chinese community. They go straight to your community. And then you got other people coming in, and then you honor them. You honor a lot of these, I don't say all my Latino brothers, but some of them, you know what I'm saying? Brother, oh, that's the Connect. Well, the Connect ain't selling it to his people. The Connect is selling you. The Connect is selling to you, and you selling to your people, and you destroying your neighborhood. While the Connect send his money back to his country, and he go over there and live like a king. You know what I'm saying? So it's a big fish eat fish type of environment, and that's like I said, that's the same thing. Like how people say it's lonely on top because you got to do all this shit to get to the top, and meanwhile, while the average person is not that fortunate to get there where you at. So you gotta also, you know what I'm saying, you gotta always look at all these things that's tearing down our community and all. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, man, if you smoke weed or if you involved in that, I mean, I ain't got no problem with that. But more the heavier things that make people like, right now in Jersey, they got an opioid epidemic, right? Now, man, look, in the '60s, they was bringing fucking heroin over in soldier coffins. They showed you that in movies. You know what I'm saying? They showed you that in movies. They was bringing heroin over, and believe it or not, heroin still wasn't worse than crack because you still had some, like, even though some people will beg to differ to say it's not, but from according to the people who I spoke to, a lot of people say that, you know what I'm saying, heroin is dependent, you can't function without it. But shit, a lot of crackheads, I never seen them come back at all. I seen them get high one time and never come back. Never come back to reality. You see them 20 years later, they done lost 20 years, you know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, though, heroin didn't do the black community. Even though in the '60s it was like a third world country, you go like in the Bronx, you'll see footage from the '60s how the Bronx looked or whatever. It looked terrible. You understand? But nonetheless, though, they got a opium epidemic in New Jersey, right? So now they bringing all this attention to it. Oh yeah, you know, they have an opium problem and all this, that, and the third. Now, when it's the Europeans doing it, it's a problem, you know, or it's an epidemic. But when you was doing it, it's a system in which they created a whole system off of your ass. You know what I'm saying? More cops, more jails, more private jails. Then you gotta pay Bell's bombing. Then you gotta pay phone. You got certain institutions you go in, you can't make direct phone call. You gotta pay. You gotta put money on the machine to make a phone call. So now they saying the opium epidemic. You know what I'm saying? Because they know that a lot of people going to tie these opium. How people get opium? Who only people selling opium? What do you need to get opium? You need a fucking prescription to get it. So how's all this opium getting up? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's a lot of stuff with that within our own community. It's not just you knowing that you're Aborigine. It's a lot of other things that the fact is that's out here. You know, I try to touch on a little bit of everything. You know, well, not a little bit of everything, but you know, almost everything. But my main thing, I talk about the Aborigine community, and this is my thing, what I talk about. But when you look at it as a whole, you gotta look at all the factors that come into the demise of your people. You know what I'm saying? Because when you got bright minds. I got a question for you though. Go ahead.
I got a question for you though. Okay, so a lot of times I get this sometimes. I'm gonna ask you this. How knowing that we Aboriginal is gonna help us in 2018 and in the future? Like knowing history and talking about history and doing all these other things about this Aboriginal stuff, how is that gonna help us get to liberation?
Because for the first thing, you're gonna be connected, man. I felt, you know how happy I felt when I first found out that we was Aborigine. Not when even when I was thinking of the Native American thing, I still had doubts in my mind. When I see these Native Americans, I'm like, nobody in my family looked like that. Nobody in my family got no. I said, all right, well, maybe one person might resemble that, and we know he mixed with something. But none of my people resemble that. My people like straight up Negro. And like I said, when you start looking at but when I started really getting down to the grin of it and really start putting it together, I'm like, yo, we home. It's the reason why my grandmother was telling me what she was telling me. You know what I'm saying? And plenty other people, family was telling them. But for you to be home is just a totally different feeling, because like you gotta actually pick a continent in Africa where you might be from. Yo, there you somewhere on the West Coast. You know, somewhere on the West, somewhere in West Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like a video, somewhere in West Africa. You don't know where in West Africa. And then that's a whole nother thing about West Africa. They telling you that the English, and then that's another thing, right? Look, this is some research to do too. African countries. When did the English, like, you know what I'm saying, colonize certain African countries? That'll tell a whole story too of when did they get in there and where was them people, because you know a lot of instances. Well, you know what? I'm going off a topic, man. He asked me the question about what makes it different. It makes it different to be home because it's a different feeling. A lot of black people say, well, I'm not American. I'm not American. That's the first thing you hear them say. I'm not American or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not from here or whatever. I was stolen from here or whatever. Now you know you wasn't stolen from here. Now you know that your history, and even if they did mix a few Africans in with us or whatever, they already then disintegrated into our DNA. You know what I'm saying? So think about it like that. If they, and that's another thing, man. You know what I'm saying? When you look at these numbers, man, then you look at the disembarkments according to the embark journey. Like, I don't know, maybe I was wrong on my math, but when I subtracted the disembarkment from the embark, I only got 51,000 people. Now, maybe I was wrong about that, but I got to go back and do some research on slavehistory.org though. But when I subtracted the total embark from the disembark, I got 51,000 people. So, you know, like I said, man, that's something that I have to go back and do the research on. But yeah, man, it's just a totally different feeling, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't let nobody come over, because then you got people who come here and try to tell you your history. Like, where did you get that shit from? You got that from the encyclopedia? Like, who told? Oh, you've been taught that by the same people who don't want us, who's lying to you. The same people who telling you they Native American telling us that we not. You understand what I'm saying? How stupid is that? And then you got people who come here who don't even really know history to say, well, damn, if it wasn't the Europeans here, how are Europeans Native American? You understand what I'm saying? It's just common sense, but people don't have common sense. They got how you say guided sense. They got sense to where they've been guided and they programmed. You know what I'm saying? They most people program. They don't step outside that box. They want to be inside that box because that box make them comfortable because it's not comfortable with being wrong. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I can accept being wrong or whatever. I made videos where I contradict myself or whatever, but I'm growing, I'm learning or whatever, and I'm doing the research. So you know what I'm saying? You can't say, all right, well, I'm just sitting there copying people's videos and nothing. I do my own video, even though I've taken stuff or taking samples from people work or whatever. I try to show you people. I try to show you all the research, show you the images, or try to put a case or put a methodology to where you can understand. We got anthropology work. We got what the explorers said. The people account of the people who came here. We got images of black people on maps. Okay. Also, we still got black people in these tribes. You understand? And like I said, and if you look at these tribes, and if you have a quarter of sense, you can look at these tribes and say, well, damn, if who's an Indian in this tribe? People, I see mulattoes and I see black people. But the problem is with that, you're telling me that the black people were slaves and the white people came here from Europe. So if I take both of them genetic groups out of this so-called Indian, what person do I have left? And you won't even have nobody left. So that tells you, well, the European wasn't here first. So that means that the so-called melanated person had to be the Aborigine person. So I mean, it
Well,
tells you
okay,
right
so
there.
check this out.
What?
I seen, and we might play this one time, maybe not tonight or whatever. But it was this video I seen of George Lopez. You know, George Lopez likes to do the DNA thing, right? And when he gets his guests on there, he like to do their DNA. So he did his DNA with Snoop, and they swab everything, whatever, and they come back or whatever. And Snoop has less sub-Saharan African in him than George Lopez, and more Native American. Because remember, Snoop goes back to the Choctaw tribe and Blackfoot down to Mississippi. So I just think it's interesting, and I can't really tell which one's darker, whether it's Snoop or whatever. But y'all can kind of understand where I'm going with this. Like when you think about an Indian, you got to think about Osceola and you have to think about John Horse. They're both from the same tribe, but Osceola is mixed. Osceola is the one that is the representative on the Florida State mascot when he come out and everything. You see him come out on the horse and he throw the spear down the ground. That's Osceola, right? He's a hero. Did all this other stuff or whatever, right? And they don't talk about John Horse. They don't have John Horse, the black man, come up and throw the spear down who won. They talk about Osceola who lost, but that's a whole other story. But Osceola was mixed.
See,
Remember, they
see,
called before they called Indians, they were called
see.
mulattoes. Yes, sir.
My bad. I mean, I didn't mean stop. Yo, can you hold me down for about like 7, 8 minutes, man? I'm going to go do something real quick. You heard me? Go
Okay.
ahead. Continue to do whatever you want to do. Or whatever you want to do, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be back in a couple of minutes. All right.
All right.
All right.
That's what's up.
Good.
All right. Well, shout out to the chat room. So let me check it out real fast. Let's see. We do a little roll call. Well, I was talking about the what they call before they called them Indians. We're called mulattoes, the Negros first, or Negros, mulattoes, or a combination of there between. So we got to understand that a lot of these terms they're writing back in history. Like they'll be like, oh yeah, Anthony Johnson was the first African American, right? And they're putting terms back in time periods where they didn't exist. Remember, African American didn't exist until 1988. So they're putting terms to create certain realities for right now that works politically for them right now. There shouldn't be no reason to be called African American from a political, social, and an economic standpoint. it's not working for us, Jesse. And that conversation when we talk about this whole African thing, I don't understand why it would be anything. So it was a beast. That's right. Shout out to Johnny Martin. Shout out to Wayne S. Root Word What It Do, aka Negro Science. Sharon Smith, peace. Al Musuru El Bay, Islam. Let's see what else we got over here. Queens, peace. Muhammad, peace. Prospering now. I've been well documented when they came here. You were so right. There's no way that we can be even close to Indians. So, yeah, Indians is not even a term. It's a made up term. It's like you can go find some Indian DNA. Terrible. You can't even go to India and find Indian DNA. Shout out to all my immortals. I don't call y'all untouchables. They more immortals. Peace to y'all. Peace to the family, man. Let's get going through it. Shout out to Rising Sun, Antonio Sears, Lanny 5813, Mr. Mosley, peace. Dion Bailey. That's right, no small hats. No Zionism, which no Zionist teachings, no Zionist school books, no Zionist curriculums. No, like you just go back and look at all these books, even books that they publish everything, family. So y'all gotta understand that, and they do it for a reason, for control. So when you think about why do they fund both sides of it? They'll fund the Panthers and they'll fund the Klan at the same time, or they'll fund the Nation of Islam, or the UNIA at the same time they're funding the Ku Klux Klan. That's just a fact. Or the NAACP, which was founded by them. So I said this the other night, but I think we all can come up with something, come up with a way for us to leave an institution that's going to be here 200 years from now, and we'll be proud of it. That if you're in the ancestral realm, you guys believe in that. That we'll be happy that our progeny is still running this foundation, this institution that is real, that's working for our people, that's not connected to them. And y'all understand what I'm saying? So, so shout out to all the warriors out there, man. Shout out to all the people, all the great ones, man. Thank y'all for coming out. Will 33, peace. Okay, M Brown, suicide teaming. I can do this recording. For our source, he is in control, not us. Really? Can you prove that, M Brown? Suicide team. What's I got going on there? That's what I'm saying, man. Peace to the family. Root, what it do, brother? Black Conscious Fire Committee. Peace, Queen. How are you? Peace to the autonomous family. They're going in. Yeah, man. Everybody needs to study, though, family. So we're here for, really here to build and to share information, because we're not all right. I'm right a lot of times. And I'm really not gonna present anything. And the brother's definitely doing great work presenting, like the like a lot of stuff that you guys like. We read a lot of this stuff and we go through it and whatever. And I'm more like the guy that's just gonna come with the fire with it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we definitely forming up like Voltron over here. Peace to the Black Conscious Fire Committee. Peace to all the Aboriginal families out here, man, sharing this to the family that is still stuck in the Kunta paradigm, the Kizzy paradigm. You know what I'm saying? And y'all know, I bust their balls because I love them. You know what I'm saying? Like I go hard because I love my family. So, you know, I actually, you know, had to sit back and really look at this. You know, people go to church, they get ashamed to give billions of dollars. Some of the, you know, some of the people, whatever. So, you know, I said, well, I want to shame them to come to the light. You know what I'm saying? And help us take power. And most of it is in our mind. So this is the greatest country because of us, because of our ancestors. That's just a fact. So shout out to the family, man. Shout out to all the great ones, man, that's still here fighting, man. Really appreciate y'all, man. Really appreciate the love and support, all the great comments, man. It's just like the brother say, man, that's what keeps us going. One with the ancestors, man. Um, yeah, man. I see the momentum going in our favor, man. Like these youngsters out here are getting it because, like somebody said in the chat room, it fills this void for for us. You know what I'm saying? It's the connection to that feeling. Like what you say, you know, you believe in any type of creator, then you have to connect back to that. So I think that's some of the, you know, I answer that question myself when I say, you know, well, how can this help us in 2018? I mean, knowing who you are is you know, we have identity crisis as a people. If you ask the majority of people who they are, they're not gonna really know. You know what I'm saying, fam? So we know who we are. And I just think a lot of them just jealous, they be mad. What we saying? They ask, well, Chief, what tribe are you from? They try to insult us, Chief, broken feather and all that stuff. So that's fine, you know. What you think about me? You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the family, man. But we coming for y'all, man. Squad hunters. Squad hunting around.
You're
yeah, man.
Still building?
School you that they running. They run. Yeah, no, I'm just, you know, filling in the void till you get back. I was just going in a little bit with the family. Shit, bro, like life's great, man. We're trying to get it over here, but I definitely want to, you know, I want to, we definitely got to take this thing on the road. You know, I like the fact that they're doing, you know, people are recognizing, we're recognizing ourselves, creating our own awards and certain things like that or whatever. So I think that's important. As teachers, I think this is, why wouldn't you be, this would be the epitome of your consciousness, is bringing it back home, family. You know what I'm saying? So I asked Wuja this, and Wuja is a very smart brother. Shout out to that brother. But
Let them know who
Wuja
is. You heard me? Let the people know
oh,
who
okay. I'm
Wuja is.
sorry. Wuja is one of the guys over at the Armor Rock Squad family. You gotta check them out. They do great work over there, family. Oh, love the shoes too, family, that they got over there. Abju.com or something like that. Whatever. Go check out the shoes. Order some shoes. If you're gonna order any shoes, why not order their shoes? You know what I'm saying? So I definitely support any Black people, Aboriginal people that are doing business. We should definitely support them. I would like to say that. Okay. But we're coming to this information. I asked myself, brother, have you ever studied any of the pyramids? Because he's an expert in meta nature. It's a brilliant brother, beautiful brother, right? Yeah. I asked him, had he ever studied the pyramids here in America? He said no. You know what I mean? Yeah, so I would definitely like those brilliant minds like that to study the pyramids and study the Olmec heads. And, you know, I told him, I said, I'm going to take my son's little blue shovel. I go to Mexico and start digging. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? We can go in the backyard and start digging. This is our land. We're living on sacred ground. This is your ground. And that's what is the disconnection. And it's like what the brother said. You said something that was interesting. It made you feel good. Me too. You know what I'm saying? It's and that's the missing link, bro. If just knowing this, growing up with this, and fortunately my son is 3, that's all he gonna know. He's not gonna. I'm never gonna derail him and take him into Islam, take him into Jesus, take him into anything. I'll be able to give it to him pure. Who you are the ancestor. You are God. That's why I named him that. I think that we have to stop looking at the past too so much for. I'm not saying we look to them for strength and certain things, or whatever. I look towards the mistakes that people made, right? So we won't make those same mistakes again. But some of us are gonna have to be great, and not just great for talking. Seeing these fools be running around here talking about they the next Malcolm X's. They coming out their mouth and saying the shit, bro, and 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 saying who they are, the leaders of the people, whatever. And they like, oh, when something happens to them, they say, look at them, they're trying to do me like Malcolm X and do me like this, and then they say, well, I don't want to be those guys. I don't want to fall on the sword. I don't want to be, you know what I'm saying? In order to be the great, you're gonna have to, you're gonna have to know that could be the end result for you. It's death. So if you're not doing this to be the greatest of all time, shut up and support the ones that are. Y'all follow me? But niggas got Twitter fingers. They can get behind avatars and they can do all these other things, which is, you know, that's fine too. Like I'm willing to be when somebody just typing something about me. I ain't shit. I done been shot at several times. So I don't, you know what I mean? So I don't compute to that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, we got a lot of work to do. Shit, they really shot, really are shooting our people right now, and they're shooting us because of lack of knowledge. So I think that's why these platforms like this, man. Shout out to all the warriors, man, that's putting in this work, man. That's been putting in this work, that's starting to put in this work, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out, you know what's also that's great too? Shout out to all the ones that we converted. Because trust me, I done had some great debates with people, fam, in the last year. And some of those people, when I came back, some of those people now are team indigenous now. Some of those people support what we do. Some of those people give information because while they was trying to debate me, they went and did research and found some of the research. But some of these fools will do research and find it and try to hide it. And they think they hiding information from us. Nigga, we thorough with our information. We thorough with our research. It's just some of our different methodologies of how we disseminate that information to people. I like showing videos. I like talking shit. I like jacking people. I like debating. I think a healthy, respectful debate is great. People learn from that. You know what I'm saying? However, though, I still see a lot of dumbass people, though. Like, okay, it's like watching a football game. You clearly see this team win, right? You got a lot of dumb fans that be like, no, my team won. He's great. No, they'll just prove these dudes wrong, and they'll still be like, no, they won. You're dumb. And it seems to be smart people. I just got to call you dummies. I have to call you a dummy. You see where I'm going with this? So you niggas is on a short bus. So shout out to y'all, man.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a question. How important is the flat earth at this point in time? Like, you know, a lot of people comment, like I told you, like I had a little dialogue with the brother Sanchez or whatever. But what I didn't like was one thing I don't like about a lot of them different panels.
I drug his ass.
Yeah, but what I don't like about it is no disrespect to the brother. Like I said, I watched his video. The brother Chosen when I've reached out and talked to him a couple of times. But nonetheless, though, what I don't like is that it's like a bunch of different nationalities all saying, okay, the earth is flat. But then when you come on with anything about your people, then it's, oh, we're all human beings. It's not about this or that. Like, if first of all, understand this. If you don't know where you're from on that earth, then you shouldn't even be worrying about how flat the earth is. You should be knowing where the fuck you from. And if you still think you from Egypt or Sub-Saharan Africa or West Africa or any of them parts over there, you need to do your research. You understand what I'm saying? Now, most of us, well, like I said, I've listened to like Eric Dubai and Crosman. I've listened to a lot of that shit, man. And it only but so much of it you can talk about. You know what I'm saying? There's only but so much of it you can talk about, so you have to come back to reality and say, well, damn, my people still getting killed. Because like what happened was, it was a brother on there that asked the question, what has melanin ever did for people, right? So he made the comment saying, well, basically, like, what is melanin good for people? And we already know that it blocks the sun or whatever. We don't know, according to what people say, semiconductor and black, listen, a lot of stuff that really can't be proven. But one thing that I do know is this, that we're much better at shit than other people. So that's one thing that it has to be a secret.
Okay. So the first question, answer the first question is about flat Earth. Okay. So a couple months ago, man, on their channel, and they were simultaneously doing it on 2 channels. But I asked him that question because I actually didn't have a problem with flat Earth. You know what I'm saying? I was going against like 5 or 6 of them at the same time, right? But here's the thing, right? So I was like, listen, I really don't have a problem with flat Earth because it really don't matter either way. But it's more evidence would suggest that the Earth is flat. Okay, I roll with that. And some things when you ask about, just show me a picture. Just do some things that they should be able to do, right? Just show me how is it possible for a satellite to just be floating around in space, right? You would have to be able to keep it in place with some, and if it's nothing out there for anything to push off, how is it just sitting? How they got all these satellites up there, right? So that doesn't make any sense. And you find out there's no satellites. You find out it's CGI. So a lot of stuff that these guys are saying is true, right? Sanchez, I said, brother, how is flat Earth going to help us? And he said, well, now we can go and tell, because now we can get the money back from NASA back for our children. I can't make this up. That's what he said.
Oh no, I know that.
I was like, bro, so that doesn't it doesn't matter if it's round, flat, oval, egg shaped. It doesn't matter when it comes to the liberation of our people. Now, I can say, for instance, even if I do believe in flat Earth, being over there with them, is so many white people and other people that support them, right? Trainees, all type of shit, right? That they don't want to and fuck up the hustle. I ain't knocking it up. Whatever y'all doing y'all thing, right? Tell the people the truth. So anytime I ever, even when I was on the panels and had wrenches and shit and doing certain things, right? I still was like, if it ever came down to the conversation about black people, this is my stance right here. I'm gonna tell these people the truth, right? So my thing is, from a flat earther stance, wouldn't you want all conspiracies to come out? Wouldn't you want all truth? As an Aboriginal person, right? That's
waking up just a little bit. Go ahead.
Let me see. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead. You go ahead.
As an Aboriginal person, I just wanted to be around people that was telling the truth, right? So if you can't tell the truth around white people and you have to act like a coon around these people, I can't be around that. And that's unfortunately what these people do. So I have a problem with them. And they always go after people that they call them pro-blacks. And they try to separate themselves. They try to say, oh, no, we're not black like them right there. I'm black like this right here. I don't agree with what those black guys say right there. And these guys go out of their way to be coons. And they're going out of their way to be coons so much that Sanchez says, oh, I'm the best coon there can be.
Yeah.
Right?
He is.
So for me, right, I call him I call him a phony. To his face, like I want to do. I come off camera on your ass. If I'm talking about him, come off camera. We live in the same city too, so like, if it's a problem, it's a problem. Y'all follow me? So it ain't a problem. I like to tell people the truth about how I feel about you and how things are going. You know what I mean? So I don't really. So I just stay in my lane, man. You know what I'm saying? People do their thing with us over there, whatever. They shouldn't even be a conversation in the community.
That's what I found.
Some people that have problems, some people that have problems in the community shouldn't even be problems, bro. Like, why y'all even have a problem with these guys?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just because he typed something, because he made a video, man, I'm cool. Like, come on, man. We waste so much time beefing over stupid shit that, like, oh no, don't get it twisted. Garfield is my brother. A cat is my brother. Them was my brothers. You know what I'm saying? We are just having a inner scrimmage. You know what I'm saying, about information. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to the Garfield's information about economics and the shit he's doing over there, A1, man, salute to that brother. You know what I'm saying? We're just having a information conversation. I don't hate them. Y'all follow me? So a lot of these are the conversations we have. Now, if we beefing over other little stuff or whatever, that's women stuff. Men don't do that. So that's why I said it was cool that Sonnet and dude squashed that. And I put this in the chat room last night. I asked him, is he gonna bury the hatchet with Seti and Pharaoh? I said that'd be big.
What dude are you talking about? What dude? You heard me, Sonnet. Chief? What dude are you? No, what dude Sonnet? Just let the people watching it. I mean.
Oh yeah, he had Hassan Campbell on his show last night.
Oh, brother Poppy.
Poppy, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So all right, so they I mean, which they, listen. You know what I'm saying? But it was just a lot of street niggerish shit. When I watch a lot of this shit, man, you see a lot of brothers still haven't humbled themselves. One thing we're coming with this information, right? You got to understand, right? You know how one thing I learned, and just this for people who listening, right? And I learned this, man. This is real serious. Like, life is 10% what happened to you and 90% how you react to it. Now I know that shit sound corny as hell, but that shit true as hell. And a lot of these jokers, their reactions, a lot of stuff that was going on, like you said with Brother Fryrol, like you knew these brothers for a long time. It should have been a lot of love there, but because of the monetary, they trying to get money. It's a lot of problems or whatever. Now, Brother Poppy, back and forth. I guess he thought Sonetta might have set him up with some shit or whatever. But nonetheless, I don't believe Sonetta would have did no shit like that. But like I said, as far as Brother Sanchez and how he banged on the whole community or whatever. Like I said, I really like. All right. I've been to about 4 lectures. I've been about 4 lectures. I've met with Brother not met with him, but I builded with him on the side, talked to him about a lot of this stuff or whatever. And a lot of stuff he don't really know about. He don't know about a lot of stuff, and you can hear it according to what a person is only good as the research that they proficient in. If you having a discussion with somebody about a brain and you don't know what the areas of the brain is, then you outside of the conversation. So if you don't know about a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about, and you like, well, what's this? Oh, you made that up, and oh no, I didn't make it up. It's right here. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm just in. But your lookery is you looking on the pyramids, and you know what I'm saying? They go to the same. They do the same thing. Like I said before, Egypt. The real Egyptian, or the people we claim to be the real Egyptians, are not dead, and the people over here you claim to be the real Aborigines are not recognizing themselves as that. But we recognize ourselves as Egyptians. We recognize ourselves as all these different parts of history. But the history that's being told, I believe that it really happened here, but everything is just upside down. You know what I'm saying? Like you really look on the map. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. And one more thing. It's like a kumbaya party at a lot of these places, man, because, I'm not anti nothing. Like I said, I build with whoever receptive to me. It's a lot of Europeans or a lot of white brothers who comment on my videos. And like I said, I'm not no racist, but I'm for my people. Why wouldn't I be for my people? And we calling ourselves, we saying we from another continent. And you even got white people who telling you're not from that continent, and people still don't believe. You know what I'm saying? They even telling you that. They like, man, you know what I'm saying? But the most funniest thing I found was I was having a debate. Like not a debate. I was talking to a brother on the train one day, right, about the same topic, right? And it was an Indian dude behind me, right? And he was telling them, he was like, yo, he telling you the truth, bro. What he's saying is real. It was an Indian dude, and he was talking in his language. And he was telling them, he said, yeah. He said, I did research. He said, I did research on Native American. He said, they wasn't even caught that or whatever. And he went real deep in, and the brother was like, and he believed him when he said it, though. Telling them, showing them all this, he didn't believe it. But as soon as the Indian dude, like he was a East Indian dude or whatever, but he was telling them, he was like, yeah, he said, y'all ain't really from Africa. He's saying that shit loud to him, the train people looking at him. Or when it comes to the conversation me and my man had, we was just talking like, but he happened to be right behind the seat and he heard us or whatever though. But yo, when I be in some of the weirdest situations, and it always be somebody who know, or they be like, yeah, he right. You know what I'm saying? According, like a lot of us are ignorant, man. So they not teaching this in school. They showing you images of mongoloids with straight hair when I clearly show
Right.
you.
And listen, here's the crazy part about it, right? They're so slick, right? You'll be watching something, and they'll be telling you all this stuff. They say, yeah, just Egypto-American stuff, and they'll say certain things, and they'll link them archaic time periods and stuff like that. When they say archaic time periods, you got to look at the time period. It's just a time period, right? We know that, and you should know this by now, that it wasn't white people on the planet at a certain time period, right? So if you're going back 10,000, 50,000, 20,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago, these people didn't exist. So therefore, Mongoloids didn't exist, family, because Mongoloids are a mixture. Y'all see how that works? So it's a creation. So, and that was created 1800, 1900, so like we got to stop falling for the banana in the tailpipe. That's what they're doing. So,
Hey, you know
it's
what?
simple.
Let me
All
somebody in the comment. You heard me, Chief?
Yeah, go ahead.
Somebody in the comments said, speak on the Wapanaki and the current affair. Like I said, I called these people, man, and let me tell you something. Like, let me explain to y'all, right? These people or these melanated people that's in these tribes, they're not going to help you. You have to help yourself. They're not going to tell you. Even when you speak to these people, they still telling you they got African DNA. None of these black, I mean, some of them, but as long as you still, yeah, but
That makes me think about Lone Wolf, Minister Louis Farrakhan's granddaughter. She says that she's half Native American and black, African, whatever, right? Every time I see it, I'll be like, yo, like, why is she saying that? Because then she goes to the places with the $5 Indians and the imposters, and then it's like she's the outsider or she's the mixed one. Y'all follow me? I'm going with this. I just think that's just disrespectful, especially when your grandfather knows when Jay Winter, shout out to him, told, I mean, shout out to him, brother. It's not many of them that's going to tell the truth. And then you get brothers and sisters that say, for instance, that may have the same mindset as the European ones. They say, well, we got ours, we getting our money, we got our situation, we good over here. We don't want them in here with us anyway. They might have fell for the same African situation too. So they think like, okay, it's a book. Shout out to the band. It's a very astute chat room, bro. You know what I'm saying? But they were talking about the Aborigines in Australia, right? And they were trying to say the same things to them, and that they were from Africa and stuff like that, whatever. Right? Well, it's a book out in a movie. The book's great, called Rabbit Proof Fence. Well, guess what? The same thing that they were doing over there in Australia, they were doing here in America. They did it in Canada, stuff like that, or whatever. So they were the same thing, cutting the hair, indoctrinating you into Christianity, indoctrinating you into what you are. So that's how they did it. And then once they indoctrinated you, then they put you back into the community. That's how that worked. So they did it in Australia. Yes, sir.
Chief, have you ever heard of Mona Lewis?
Oh, that sounds familiar.
And Mona Lewis she's the sculptor. She's an Aborigine, right? But they say she's mixed with African American and Chippewa. She was a sculptor. She's the image that most people see. She got like a it looked like she got like a kind of hat is that they be having in Paris, man. Them fucking like the painters be having though. But she has a picture. I'm gonna read a little bit of it real quick. It's only a brief paragraph, but I was gonna make a video on it, but while I'm talking about it, I might as well just build on it, you know what I'm saying? But all right, so I'm just gonna read it. So Emmanuel Lewis, right, was the first professional They say African American sculpture. It say was born in Ohio or New York. So they don't know if she was born in Ohio or New York in 1843 to 1845. Her father was a free African American and her mother was a Chippewa Indian. Orphaned before she was 5, Lewis lived with her mother's nomadic tribe until she was 12 years old. Lewis' older brother, Sunrise, left the Chippewa and moved to California where he became a gold miner. It said he financed his sister early schooling in Albany and also helped her attend I'm sorry, Oberlin College in Ohio in 1859. Say while Oberlin she were the Chippewa name Wildfire, saying took the name Mary Edmonio Lewis. Her career of Oberlin ended abruptly when she was accused of poisoning 2 of her white roommates. Lewis was acquitted of all charges, though she had to endure not only a highly publicized trial, but also a severe beating by white vigilantes. Subsequently accused of stealing art supplies, she was not permitted to graduate from Oberlin. Say Lewis left Oberlin in 1863 and again through her and financial assistance moved to Boston. There she met a portrait sculptor, Edward Brackett, under whose direction she began her limited sculpture studies. She was determined to become a sculptor. All right. So I'm gonna make a video on, but I wanted to just touch on that because that was actually in my Western. But you know, they say her father was a free African American. You understand what I'm saying? We already know what that is. He was an Aborigine. We already know if he was free, we already know he probably was a displaced tribe or whatever who probably somehow gained his freedom, just like most of the free men we see. But you know what I'm saying? That's just some additional research for you guys out there. Edmonio Lewis, I see a lot of pictures come up of her, but I never see nobody really elaborate on who she was. I'll make a brief video on it tomorrow. I'll put the images up, but you guys got Google. You can Google. Her name is Edmonia. Edmonia Lewis. LEWE. IE. IS. Sorry. So you guys check it out. All right. But yeah, what you was saying about the sister from Longwolf or whatever hell her name is. You know, yeah, I seen her actually at the pipelines with the Mongoloids, and the brother Hamak was there, and him and her was having like a discourse or whatever. She was saying that he's a fraud, he's charging people or whatever, you know, and like he do require a fee for his services, part of the NAIP or whatever. Which I don't have a problem with. You know what I'm saying? Shit, people got subscriptions to Netflix. You understand what I'm saying? This man is suing. This man is suing the United States. You understand, to become part in the suit, whether it go through or whether it don't go through. You know what I'm saying? And that's why niggas don't support nothing, because people will support. People pay $100 to get some Jordans or for some foolishness, some shit that's going to be going in the next 2 years. You know what I'm saying? It's something that can last a lifetime, whether you agree with it or whether you don't agree with it. You have to, for you to gain whatever you're trying to get, you have to really check into a lot of these things, man. Like I said, and for the young lady who mentioned the Wapanaki, like I said, I called the chief, Cedric Cromwell. Me and him had a long conversation, and they ain't trying to tell you that it was Aborigines that we are Indians. They, even if you see them in the tribe. So you have to do your research. You have to file, like the sister from Black Consciousness, like she said, you have to file with Indian Affairs, and you have to do your research. You have to go back to where your people possibly was at in the 1800s. But like I said, you look at the Pequot tribe, they're Negroes, and even Sister Yafa touched on that. Me and her we didn't even talk over this, and she said exactly what I was saying. Even looking at that, you look at them, you should be asking yourself questions. Well, how are all these black people in this tribe? How? Are all these Africans mixed with all these Indians? Come on, it don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? So you have to really look into it. And then, like I said, people, You call these, like, look, man, don't take my word for it. You call them. All you gotta do is Google what's the main tribes in like Massachusetts. You got the Pequot, Wapanaki, the Nassagari. That's the brother I spoke to. He was from the Nassagari. Then you got the Mohegan. There's probably like another the Massachusetts, and there's probably another one. But understand this too, right? A lot of the New York tribes was part of the Massachusetts tribes too, like the Shinnecock, the Montauk, the Seneca, or whatever. But there's a lot of different tribes up there. You know what I'm saying? You just pick and choose. But a lot of these tribes don't have the contact like the Pequot or the Wapanaki. A lot of the tribes that got like these casinos are the ones that's well funded. Like when I was looking at the Lenni Lenape tribe, they have a number, but they're not active right now. You know what I'm saying? And as well as like when you reach out to the Cherokees, you could possibly reach out to them, but call them. You call them and you ask them and you talk to them and ask them the history. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I do it, and one day when I get an opportunity, I'm gonna record it and I'm gonna play it in a video or whatever. Though I'm trying to see if maybe possible if I can get somebody to come on and we can talk to some of these people. I even try to get in contact with the sister Longwood and see what she's talking about. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, though, like I said, people, you have to reach out. You have to see what area your people lived in, and that your mother and your father. So you have to see, if your father lived in Carolina and your mother was from Virginia, then they might be somehow, it might be a connection there. You have to see where your father was from, as well as where your mother and father was from. You know what I'm saying? And then you have to go back to their mother. So it's a lot of research that got to be done, but it's really not hard. The video that shows you your surnames, where all these surnames came from, what regions most of them was in. You know what I'm saying? So you have to do your own individual research from there, man. You know, I got my hands full with a lot of this information, man. I just try to get it out there as much as possible. And the people that definitely post the comments and post articles, I ain't forget y'all, man. I definitely appreciate all y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all give me more information. Well, y'all don't give me more information, but actually y'all do give me more information to give the people. You understand? So like I said, man, I ain't never, this ain't about no trying to like for no views. This ain't like, that wasn't my intention. Like as far as the Aborigine, I felt like this is something that should be told. This is something that can't be kept. Like I cannot sit here and say, oh, well, all this information I just came up with myself. No. I had numerous different teachers who taught me different things, and which led me to me doing my own research to where we are at now today. So like I said, if you believe it, you know, like I said, man, it's out there. It's out there. And for people, like I said, that's trying to find out where they from or their tribes or anything, you have to do the research, because it's like I said, they was moving people around in a lot of instances. So you have to go from there. But if you can track your people down to a certain region by like the 1800s, then you already know they wasn't moving like that. You know what I'm saying? So if they was in that region in the 1800s, then more likely, you know, one of the more easier ones to do is Virginia. Virginia will be the easiest one for anybody then that's classified as color to claim that they are one of these tribes. Like Virginia would be, because they show you that Walter Plecker does it, and you got other people disputing that. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, it's a lot. It's a lot of research that got to be done, and people, you have to do your own individual research. I appreciate everybody who sent the comments in, who sent all the posts. All the posts be interesting, but just some of the posts lead me to so much literature that like I said, I don't have time to do. Like it's hard to do. Like sometimes I research something and it just lead me down like endless doors. Then sometimes like I'm trying to find something that's structured around, you know, around like the slave trade or Indian slavery or the certain parts of the Americas and where they bringing people. Like that's where I'm trying to be at right here. But like I said, I thank you guys for all of the comments and everything. Everybody in the chat, peace to everybody in the chat. I actually just posted it that anybody you want to come in, you're more than welcome. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, give your spill. You want to ever build? I'm here. I definitely want to hear different people perspective. What you know, it's a lot of intelligent people hit me up who know a lot of stuff that I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So,
right.
you know, like
Shout out to the boy.
I'm learning as we go along too. So I'm not sitting here like, oh, I'm holier than thou. Oh, like I'm no, not. I'm not even trying to do that. Like I'm just trying to like, you know, I had something that I felt was useful for the people, and I put it out there.
Right.
And thanks to you guys, you helped me keep on doing my continuing the research that's done so y'all can have more information. Like this is just not like, well, what the hell is I'm doing? What the hell is like good of me doing this and me take this ain't my fucking research. I just happen to pay attention to something that you know what I'm saying that I kept paying attention to. So with that being said, you got something you want to say, Chief?
That's what's up. Shit, man. Shout out to the sister warrior. Shit. My check, my check. Yeah, shout out to Dante Cotton, a new breed. I don't know if I said Will 33. Shout out to you. Yeah.
And that's what you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's another thing. Like no, that's another thing. Like, you know, you have to like really like I don't know if you guys know how to do your research on like what I did was I've been authenticated my birth certificate and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And like I mean it's not the same as being part of a tribe and having a trust with a tribe, but a lot of the stuff that a lot of these brothers talk about, like I know a lot of brothers might not I don't know if y'all know who Jonah Bay is and Yusef Eldo, but when it comes to like civics and like a lot of these documents, man, check them brothers out, man. Also, check this brother out too when it comes to genetics, man. Check out a brother named Brett Carr. That's BRETT 21 Car, CAR, or CAR. It might be 2R, but you would check him out though. He got a lot of videos. He basically tells you the like, you know, he's African centered. So don't get that wrong. So some of his information might be wrong, but he has a lot of good information. Like one of the people who he studied is a doctor who's a geneticist by the name of Melba Ketcher, and one of her, and that's Melba, MELBA Ketcher, KETCHUM, I believe, and she actually says that all Europeans has the same genetic marker as Bigfoot. Now, I know a lot of people are like, man, we don't believe in no Bigfoot and all that shit, but she's a geneticist who's supposed to have got a DNA sample of Bigfoot, and she actually posted something in one of these peer review articles. But what happened was a lot of her peers did not want to back her up on this. You know what I'm saying? And she got one of the one. I guess he's a well-known scientist, but you have to check him out. Check the brother Brett Carr videos out. He tell you like where you know a lot of people like where they origins from, and he got some very interesting videos. So you know definitely shout out to him. I haven't seen him post nothing lately though, but when it comes to like the origins of man, like I have checked him out, and what he's saying makes sense. You know what I'm saying? If you look at a Chinese person and you look at a snub-nosed monkey, they look alike. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's telling us that we came from monkeys and we don't have straight hair like animals. We have not ether hair. We have curly hair. And even if your hair is soft, it's still curly. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, that's something that has to look into. You have to do a lot of research when it comes to a lot of things, man.
Yeah, that still
And
comes from that. That still comes from that pseudo stuff that Uncle be talking about. That it may have made. Now they don't say because when you call them on it, they'll say, "Well, I just said." They say, "I said man may have evolved ape monkeys, man monkey shit. You know, hominid, right? Now, the only proof of this hominid, which is now out of Europe, that the oldest hominid now is found in Europe, like 7.2 million years. Okay, that's 200,000 years older than the hominid Lucy. That's in Africa. Y'all follow me? Okay, so now y'all, I can't make this up. Now they're saying that it's the Europe theory. So now, by them saying that man may have evolved from a hominid from Europe because they found a tooth in Romania. I can't make this up. They found a tooth. So now that tooth is 200,000 years older than 7 million years old monkey that they found in Africa that they say we may have evolved from. Now they're saying it's 7.2 million years in Europe. Now, by them saying Europe, everybody automatically thinks, oh my God, no, man was white first, like because it's Europe. That's their plan. It's just that simple. They don't have to play games with you. I don't have to make this shit up. This is the science that they're talking now. Now, Unkim have to change their paradigm from out of Africa theory to out of Europe theory now because the people that taught them this are saying, no, no, no. We found a tooth now that's 200,000 years older than the tooth that we found or the elbow that we found in Kenya. So, okay. So point being, family, is these are theories. Matter of fact, they're not even theories, they're hypotheses. They haven't even made it to the theory stage yet. They have no basis other than by them saying, okay, man evolved from a monkey to black people to white people. Y'all follow me? That's their evolutionary story. So that's why they teach that, so they can say, okay, if y'all sleep with them, you're gonna go and de-evolve. But what they're not telling you is that's why I call it degenerate. They're degenerates. So that's not true facts. If they're teaching that science to anybody, that's just not true. You can't. That's not evolving into them. So you're evolving. You're devolving if you go from black to white. Now, I asked that question too when we talk about these DNA studies. I know Kittles has found some white people that have traced themselves back to black people. Because wouldn't all white people trace themselves back to Africa foods? Because they wouldn't black people migrated to Africa, right? They didn't walk around Africa. That makes no sense. Dumb. Shut up. The oldest ones in Europe are black people. The oldest people from Europe are black people.
So Chief, let me ask you a question. So where do you think Europeans came from?
Man, I did a show one time before called Who Invented White People, right? Now, I'm sure that we have a very astute audience here. They've heard of Yakub theory, which is kind of how I want to say it, a story that could fit time periods and genetic, you know what I mean? So it all fits certain time periods. When I say, oh yeah, white people didn't exist until past 6,000 years, technically I really can't say that. Y'all follow me? They might have been here millions of years ago and got extinct, came back, got extinct again. Who knows? However, what they're saying now is that these people have only been here about 6,000 years, and they didn't start making other people until about 2,000 years ago. Like when we talk about the Chinese people, the Chinese people were black first. The Chinese people are still black. The European came there and created new tribes of people and set up a caste system. When they got kicked out, they still left that caste system left there. You got Chinese people that are Jewish and that Zionism runs China too. Y'all follow me? And they have it's very racist in China. It's like Jim Crow. They can't even black. They say that we can't even go in certain places in China because we black. So I'm just one of these type of people, right? Even though I'm Aboriginal to America, I feel like we are the greatest on this planet, and anywhere we go, we are royalty. That's our land, them our people. We are here to liberate all our people. So just because I go hard for the Aboriginal stuff, I'm still a world citizen to all the people that's oppressed around this planet. That's the problem.
So you believe
we can't do anything until we get our shit together. Yes, sir.
Chief, so you believe the Yakub theory, or you saying look, we know a lot of stuff cannot be huh? What you say?
I said, no, I don't believe anything, man.
Yeah,
I was just saying there's a lot of theories out there, right? You know what I mean?
yeah.
You know what I mean? I've heard there was different types of sun rays from people when they lost vitamin D and they ate certain type of fish. So then they started mutating, right? So you hear all these different things, that it was cold and then the noses got, you hear all these theories. Those are not true, family.
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
are
absolutely.
not true. The
Yeah,
facts are that we don't know certain things, why certain people came out a certain way and why these people are in this position. However, I kind of like the Yakuza. I kind of like the science in it, not necessarily the stories, because you can fit any characters in those positions. But I like the science, and we can create white people. Y'all follow me? Like we can really just say, okay, I can take a brother and go hook him up with a white girl, right? Take that baby and then hook that baby up with another white person, and then the baby that's result of that union right there, person. This case would trace the African or we trace the European. Y'all follow where I'm going with this? You see how that works? So when people say certain things, you go in every generation, your relatives double. So 20 generations, you got so many people that created you. There's no possible way to track all those people.
hey, let me ask you a
It's
question.
impossible.
Have you ever heard
It's too stupid.
anybody? Let me ask you a question. See, have you ever heard an Indian getting a DNA test and where their DNA comes back to? Somebody
I
from
actually
India.
have seen that. Oh, from
Huh?
India, the
From
country.
India, like yeah, from India, like a East Indian, right? Now we know we
I
got the
haven't seen I mean, India is actually attached to the continent of Africa, right? So that's not hard to to think. Oh yeah, those people are all African people first. Then the European came there and created the Indian people that you see.
yeah, I believe that. I believe, and you know what?
That's just simple. It ain't no. It's
Because
not
you know
rocket
what
science.
though? You know what though? If you look at the people in India, right? They do got these tales of fucking gods with all these arms, and a lot of these kids over there be having these genetic disform maladies and shit, man. And you don't see that nowhere else. You know, when you come here, you don't see it here. You don't see it in Africa. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't see it among the people, the melanated people of any of the like the Asiatic melanated people. You only see it in with the Indians. So, like, you know, we know the Dravinians, you know what I'm saying, that them people are blue black. I actually seen a Dravinian woman like a couple of months ago when I was in the gym, and she was black as shit, man. Like she was fucking purple. Like she didn't have a complexion like African. She had a different type of dark complexion. But nonetheless, though, I would love to see if they get a DNA test on what their markers would be. Their marker probably will come back because they got melanin in their skin. But you also got to understand. I might be wrong about what I'm about to say. Like if you look on the DNA, right? You look on the DNA, right? They give you, I believe, 4 amino acids. And I might be right, I might be wrong. Some people in the chat might know what I'm talking about. But if you look on the so-called DNA, they give you 4 amino acids. One of the amino acids is tyrosine. So I can see which is what melanin is derived from, or what people say. Like, cause I know people, like, you know, people who get these skin problems where they start losing their melanin. That's a problem with the thyroid. Problem because the thyroid. I mean, I can't get the word out the amino acid, but the amino acid is directly connected to the thyroid, which causes melanin. So we know that the people here, you know what I'm saying, had to be melanated first. Now, how the people turn into Europeans is a whole other story or whatever. Along with the straight hair too. You know what I'm saying? You have to start asking yourself, well, where do these people get these straight hair from? You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I've heard all the stories too. You know, the cold climate is because they needed fur to cover their skin. That's the reason why you have all that hair on them. You know, they lost their melanin by being in the cave. You know, it's a lot of stories out there. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, none. If you test these people, if everybody came from Africa, when you test these other people, they should have some African strands in them. It shouldn't be like the Chinese man that said, or whatever. I don't know if he did genetic tests.
Hey, bro, you were right.
Huh?
I thought it was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yes. Like, I don't know if it's a Chinese man who said all life started in Africa. Right? I don't know if he backed that up with genetic proof or whatever. But he might just be saying that because he believed all life started in Africa. Now, I mean, if all people came from Africa, then all people should have some. I don't care if it's only 2%.
Okay, no, you're good now.
Huh? You heard what I said? I don't care if it's 2%. They should have some genetic marker that leads them back to Africa. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like I've heard a lot of stories, man. I've heard his pyramids in Romania. I've read Peter Moon work. Peter Moon.
I mean, listen, bro. We got pyramids all over this planet. And that's why I said, you know, once we can figure out who we are, once we connect to this land, I know that will connect us to the rest of the planet. People will respect us more because then we'll know who we are. Even when I went to Europe and all these other places, like, it's a difference between, like, people know just because swag, they know who we are. They know because think about it. We're a new country, so all these other countries was there already watching us come up and do all these great things. They don't talk about them doing great things. They only talk about us. When they think of America, they think of us. We made America great. People say when they hear Donald Trump say, "Make America great again," oh no, we're gonna be slaves again. You dummies. Niggas are so dumb and scary, man. Like, I just can't take it. Okay. Oh my God. Oh, I wanted to ask you a question about this, right? So the lady over in that's a part of the royal family, right? Wore the Blackamoor brooch, and the media got it and was like, "Oh, she offended Prince Harry's fiance. She offended black people and all this other stuff." And she was like, "Yo, I wear this all the time. This is the first time I wore this Blackamoor brooch." I just want to know. Listen. I'm pretty smart, right? When I seen the Blackamoor thing or whatever, why would I be offended that she's wearing a Blackamoor brooch? When if I know about it, then I know she's not trying to be offensive. And if I don't know about it, then I wouldn't know to be offended. Y'all follow me? So the media finds it and say, "Oh, she has to apologize to black people. She's being disrespectful for wearing a brooch." Okay, well, you guys have a secret reason why you have a Blackamoor in the first place. Y'all follow me? So it's like they take our shit and make it spooky to us. Y'all follow me? That we got to stop the madness, man. We got to stop the media from manipulating us or being afraid of Donald Trump. Because think about it, if you're afraid of Donald Trump, that means you're afraid of white people. Please stop being afraid of white people.
All the presidents was the same. The worst president you ever seen was Andrew Jackson. You know what I'm saying? And some of the earlier presidents. And just for the people in the chat, right? You can hear me, Chief? Chief, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, just for the people in chat, look, I know that there's no such thing as black people. I know I'll be saying African. I know I'll be using these terms the way I be using them, but a lot of times I use them as catchphrases for people who don't know about. So I have to use the words according to, like, you know, to the understanding of the people. If I use Aborigines, or if I use my word in a certain way all the time, certain people who don't type of information. Now, you got certain people on YouTube who only are key to look at certain things. Most black people only look at stuff that says black people on it. So you have to look at the way you have to word it. You can't put everything to to where we understand it. Most people who my subscribers, you already know the material what I come with. I know there's no such people as black people. I know we ain't even colors. You know, they use colors to identify you according to a complexion. I understand that, but what I'm saying is that I am fully aware that we're not black people. I'm fully aware that we're not crayons, we're not color. I know all that. I'm just letting y'all know I use them terms interchangeable for people who don't know who we are. So just understand that. I know we're not African American. I know we're not Negros. I know we're not colored. I know we have a nationality. I know we're not 3/5 of a man. So for people in the chat, I'm damn sure with y'all or whatever on everything. All right. So go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's definitely hard. I mean, because we've been indoctrinated into these words and we're casting spells. So it's true when you say African. Like, okay, a person from the continent don't consider themselves African. That's not their tribe. Most of them, you know, they might even say their country or whatever. You know, they have pride in being Nigerians and sort of thing or whatever. But we already know we just created those boundaries too. So a lot of people associate themselves with their tribes. So they were given European names and surnames and stuff too. It shows ownership. So technically, we letting these people name us. If you let a people name you, you are their slave. So I definitely know that we need to definitely change our name from African Americans to I mean Aborigine. It just feels good right now. You know what I mean? It means a lot. I think we definitely need to push that. You know, and I know once it becomes mainstream and people understand that, yo, I could file these papers and get my status changed if I could just connect my grandparents back to this land, my great grandparents back to this land, and we can go back with those documentations, because you have, you know, you can go back at least to the 1800s, because a lot of people can't go back to the 1700s because they've lost a lot of records, or they didn't have records. You know what I'm saying? Or
Hey, you know,
records.
Hey Chief, somebody in the comment, I mean, one of the brothers in the comments said India is part of Asia. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm aware India is part of Asia, my brother. But check this out. We also know that Europe is way smaller than they show us on the maps, and we all know that Europe is connected to Africa. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's connected to Africa. You know, it might not. I don't know. We don't know the approximate size of it. You know what I'm saying? Or even if the map is we know that the map is inaccurate. We know that Europe is not as big. That's the reason why them people is trying to get out of Europe. Why do you think the Chinese is trying to leave China? Because that shit is not as big as they saying it is. If you look on a map, Europe is damn near fucking like almost one and a half size bigger than Africa. Now we know that these maps are wrong, though. But I mean, when she said that India is part of Africa, I mean, he's saying from a perspective that it is part of Africa. You know what I'm saying? And Asia is right on top of Africa.
Yeah, I'm a nigga. You're right. Nigga swim from Africa to Europe. People swim further than that. So
now,
yeah,
I just want to
clarify.
I just want to clarify that because I don't want nobody to think like like we ignorant. We just winging shit or whatever. Like I do have some understanding. I actually got like a couple globes in my eye. I actually got a what's the name from my daughter right here on the wall. Yeah, bro, I just wanted to just put that out there. You know what I'm saying? I know I don't want nobody to think, like I said, I'm not right on everything. I don't know everything. I can't be corrected. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't have no problem with it, man. Anybody, you know, any of my information wrong, like I read people comments and people always pull me up on shit. So if you see me slipping and you see me put some information out there, which I have done out there, I'm not gonna lie, all my information is not straightforward, but I have made corrections. Like I said, I have stepped my game up as far as educating myself further by you know, really digging deeper in. So, you know, like I said, I have said some things in my research that may have contradicted what people believe, but just know, man, if I did do that, I didn't do it intentionally. I did it out of ignorance, but just know that I am on the right path. All right. So, you got something you want to say, Chief?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, man.
yeah, that's pretty much how I am. I just try to just, like I said, I'm learning. I'm a student, man. Just like Millie Fuller say, I'm still learning. He still say that in his 80s. I'm still
Yeah, man.
learning. I don't know everything. This shit is
We all.
this shit. Yeah,
I like to call myself a master student. You know what I mean?
that's right.
That shares my research and shares. Um, I mean, a lot of experience, wisdom, discernment with my other fellow students. You know what I'm saying? So um, we always learn, man. You should always seek knowledge to you leave up out of here. You know what I mean? So, but Deep Thought said some real shit. Shout out to Deep Thought. Um, yeah, that senator or ex-senator down in Alabama, he wasn't saying subconsciously. They probably sit around and have these type of conversations, and it slipped out. And the fact that it slipped out and they're punishing them like that shows you the power in the word aboriginal, aborigine. It's too much power. So yeah, we definitely got to step up our marketing campaign. When they be like, "I am Malcolm X," we supposed to be like, "I am Aboriginal." I like to go to Aboriginal because we speak English and people understand original. You know what I mean? You don't want to confuse them with this old fancy French word. But that's how they beat us though, because they say, "Oh, that's French." Oh, we'll change to English. Oh, but Negro is Spanish, and that's a nice fancy word. They want to be fancy Negroes. Here, we'll let them have that and keep them food. Oh, Afro, they Afro Americans. But when people think Afro, you think African, right? No, Afro means natural. I'm gonna say this again. See, I heard. But when you do your research on the word Afro, it doesn't mean Africa. It means natural. You got it? So once again, like they just beating us with these little words and spells that they're casting on us. They go, "Oh, you're Afro Americans, you're Afro Cubans." Only means you're a natural Cuban. Only means you're a natural Guatemalan. You talk to the Peruvians, you talk to the Colombians. The natural people there are black. And man, you had showed some images on a video you did, bro. Love those images when they show the paintings of the black. I know we get confused with these words, man. The Negroid chiefs, the people, they tell you can't go from dark. I mean, light to dark. So if the term Mexico, dark land, it talks about the black gods. They tell you about their black gods. So you shouldn't be surprised when you see black gods carved in tons of stone. You shouldn't be. Why would that surprise you?
Yeah. You know
Little
what, Chief? When you
stuff. That's just
you
yeah.
going in and out. You heard me, Chief? You going in and out.
What
You heard
about
me,
that?
Chief? Oh, not all right. I mean, well, y'all can hear you now. That's when you start seeing like Montezuma, and you start seeing all these other images on the Mayan walls and all this shit, man. You got Mayans with dreadlocks, man, hanging down to their feet. You know what I'm saying? With big noses and like, look, man. Like I said, man. If you don't believe America was a Negro or America was a whatever word we want to use, let's use black for now. America was a black continent. All right, then you've been misinformed or whatever. If you believe that this was a fucking melting pot, no, it wasn't a melting pot. It wasn't a melting pot to 1605 because there was no other colony of no other country set up over here. Besides, yeah, the Spanish set up colonies, but they wasn't successful in setting up colony here, nor in the Americas like that.
Mm-hmm.
America, But we do know that a lot of people, oh, this did America was a melting pot. There was a bunch of different people came here. That's bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, we know the Chi Empire came to Mexico, but they ain't stayed very long. And there wasn't that many of them to really mix in. You think how many boats of people could actually come over here? And how many people was it? You tell me a million, like a couple million people, what, compared to 1,500 people? So
All,
1,500
all,
Chinese came here?
but all they got to do is just listen. You don't have mongoloids 5,000 years ago. They did 6,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago. They didn't exist. So when you find bones that go back 10,000 years, there's only black people on this planet. There's only Negroid people on this planet. It wasn't Caucasian. It wasn't Mongoloid. What's another one? Caucasoid, Mongoloid, Negroid.
Indian,
So,
Indian, what they call him.
Right, it wasn't no Austranoids either. So these people didn't exist. So yeah, they are trying to take the identity, because if you think about Australia right now, you'll be like, oh yeah, that's a white country.
That's right. That's right. And the same thing, all
That
these other places.
they're going to kill all of you. Listen, man, I seen something Dr. Runoko Rashidi did, shout out to him, and he said that the unemployment rate Australia for the black fellas, they like to be called black fellas, and the Aborigines, but they like to be called black fellas, is 99.9%. And the women is like 95% or some shit. It's just absolutely crazy. Everybody's in prison. Everybody's
why it's
strung
like
out.
that? You know why it's like that though?
Wow.
You know why it's like that, Chief? Why it's
Of
like
course.
that? Because them motherfuckers probably still thinking like, yo, why the fuck do we gotta work anyway? Before what they was doing was just maintaining their possessions of what they have. Like, you know, what would tribes be doing? They wasn't working. They really had to work for food besides fishing and growing shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that was their work. Their work was maintaining their livelihood. You know what I'm saying? Now you gotta work to buy stuff. So they probably thinking like, what the fuck I gotta work for? That's why a lot of Negroes can't work. Every Negro, you know, I seen, you know what I mean, black brothers can't work. It's not that they don't want to work. It's that they don't want to be no fucking slave. And they feel like, you know what I mean, people I've heard of jokers who not even conscious, man. Fuck that. I'd rather hustle, man. I don't wanna work, man. I don't want to be no slave. And they don't even know that that's even worse. But
It's worse.
but
But you
it's
know what though, bro? We
yeah.
don't even want to work for each other though. It ain't even just about, you know what? It's not even just about going and working for white people, right? If me and you started a business, which we are, we're gonna start a business. This is a business. This is what we're doing. We're gonna do things or whatever to create business, right? So we want to employ people. It's hard to get other black people to want to work for black people, because guess what? White people are not gonna work for you. Asian people are not gonna work for you. No other race of people want to work for you because they understand the dynamics of slavery. Once we get that understanding, the dynamics of slavery, at least be enslaved with your own people. Let's work. Let's build our own institutions of prosperity. So anybody that's in my business, if I'm driving a Rolls Royce, everybody's driving Rolls Royces. That's how we get the business going. You see how it goes? It's like it's enough for everybody, but they don't work like that, and they only see they're just puppets, Creflo and all those guys or whatever, you know. So they're only getting crumbs in the first place. They still got to pay out. They still got to take care of the people. They still got to protect the secrets. They got to keep being gatekeepers to stop our people from rising. So that's the whole problem that we have right now. We have gatekeepers that have been put in place to stop us, stop this information. So when you see people like Kansu, who's a Mason, who's moonlighting as a, I don't know, as a Team Osiris dude, ancient Kemet type stuff or whatever, but he's a Washita Indian tribe. Like, I don't know what's going on. And then when you call him on, he's mad about it. Like, but he's debating me on being Aboriginal, but he's in a tribe on the website on the picture.
Damn. That's deep. Damn,
Hey,
I ain't even know that.
Hey, bro, he got body bag. He got Summer Jam screen. Hey, I put niggas in caskets. So don't play with me just because I play around with these words and play around with the information. I know what I'm talking about. I really do real research. Me and this brother, we really put in this work. I've been putting this work for a long time. This is life's work, and we're going to change the dynamics of our people because we're socially been put in this position that we can socially get out of. Because a lot of it is just mental. We're not. It's mental. We're mentally in this position, so we can mentally get out of it. We can mentally create businesses, create institutions that will do for us. That's not hard. We're talking about what's the solution. That's the solution. And if we have niggas that's in the way, I'm saying cut your goddamn heads off. I think that should just be the crime for we're over here building for us. We're trying to do good. And if you come over here and you're sabotaging, I think that's fair. You should know that off top. Like, man, them gorillas over there is not playing. Because in gorilla land, they fuck niggas up. So why would we go over there and fuck with them? And legally do it. We have our legal ways that we do things. We have our own sheriff departments with our own whatever we got to do to legally enforce what we doing over here. Because I think that's how it has to be. If we have more people legally creating laws for us and doing things for us, I think that's how things work. That's how they're winning. They just came in and said, no, it's more of us now. We can change the laws to benefit white people. Here, white, this right here, 1681. We wrote it into law. Here it is right here. This is what gave them their power, piece of paper. So if we can't change it on the piece of paper, let's burn the paper. Y'all ever seen the show on PBS? It's a kid show. If you got kids, you've probably seen it, called Super Y. So they come in and they'll be like, hey, we solved the problems by changing the goddamn words, right? So they'll be like, oh yeah, the pigs did this, and then the wolf is doing this. They'll be like, oh no, let's just change the wolf to blow a whistle or something. You know what I mean? Why we can't just come in like Super Y, change the fucking words to fit our needs, to create peace, to create prosperity for our people? Why we can't do that? If you got all these politicians in Chicago and Baltimore, you got mayors of the black, all these people, whatever, and they still not serving their people. Y'all scared of? You should be more afraid of us than them. So yeah, you know, this Aboriginal stuff is the platform, but it's a social political aspect to this that springboards everything off of this. If you don't have the foundation, like it can't be flat Earth. Oh, the foundation of the movement is flat Earth. What? Oh, the foundation of the movement is Kemet. What? The foundation of the movement is Scottish Rite Masonry. What? So if Marcus Garvey is a Scottish Rite Mason, how is it going to work if ultimately his allegiance was to the crown, to England, where it eventually went, right? Yeah. Why? So Umar knows that. A lot of people know this, but if somebody calls, oh, you're an agent, you're being disrespectful to Marcus. No, I'm just saying, if the UNIA was as great as it's supposed to be, then it would still been going, even if he'd got killed, sent whatever. But then we start doing research, and you understand that he had pacts, he had certain things he had to do for the crown.
And they were supposed to be selling that land. You heard me? That land in Africa where they was with we was gonna move, because you know it was already like 2 migrations earlier before that, but that particular land in which that he was negotiating, they was negotiating the land for a money price. But what happened was somebody bought him out. That's one of the reasons why it never went through.
But it was in Liberia though, so that means that he was working with the American Colonization Society.
Yeah, like exactly.
Come on, man, get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
And listen, okay. I want some of you African scholars to show me the country in Africa that you're doing business with, that we could start investing our money, our American dollars, into their banks, because don't that make sense?
But they don't. They come over here and sell bootleg shit. You heard me?
But my point is, though, if I have an African bank, I want to get as many American dollars into my bank to add equity and do certain things into my bank, right? The Mexicans send their money back to their country, other people send their money back to their country, whatever. Indians send their money back to their country. That's why they balling out of control. That's why they beating us.
Yeah.
Because
yeah. But you know what though? But you got to understand this too, Chief. When it come to a lot of these other ethnic groups from other countries, you gotta understand something. They don't have the same situation we have. We have an identity crisis between us, and we have the fact that we've been here last X amount of years, or I mean that the fact that they've been here X amount of years, in which is the whole situation we've been going through. Now they come here and they buy into everything. They go to school, they read all the books they can. Listen, bro. I see these Indians how they interact with their children. They don't give their children tablets. They be giving their children books, man. Why do you think these kids being, like she said, being all these spelling bees? Because all they do is read. You know what I'm saying? So they indoctrinated to a certain point, though. But yo, where I live at, the Indians own they own fucking 7-Eleven, they own Popeye, they own fucking Taco Bells, they own everything, and that's the thing. They buy into a lot of that shit. I won't invest my money in no Popeyes. I don't want no damn Popeyes. That shit ain't no good for nobody. But they will. And they know it ain't good. They don't eat Popeyes. They know, listen, Indians are very well nutritional informed. They know that's why they be living so long or whatever and being so much better health than we are. They're not eating no fucking Popeyes, but they will come here and open one up and then put one in your neighborhood and you'll buy it. And that's the thing, until you get smart enough not to teach your kids to eat that shit. See, the problem is not just them, it's us. Because we don't take our time to educate ourselves properly, man. Most I see, man, listen, bro. Like, in the morning time, my daughter's school, I see mothers in there buying their kids soda. They get their kids money. I'm not giving my children no money until they know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? You give children money, they go in the store, buy candy, buy sodas early in the morning or whatever. And like I said, we are our biggest problem because we're not educated. We're educated just to work for somebody. You go to college just so you can get a job to work for somebody. You don't go to college in which you try to find liberation for your mind or for for yourself here on this planet. You go to college to be more slave. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Like I said, you have to look at it. It comes from diet. It comes from the shit you put in your mind. Like I just was telling you about the web series or whatever. Like that shit shows me how ignorant motherfuckers is these days. So that helped me better interact with my people. You know what I'm saying? But you see that shit, you be like, damn, this how we living? And you got people come here and promote this bad health to you. They come here and promote Kentucky Fried. They come here, but like I said, they come here and buy it and know you're gonna buy it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. And we don't own none of that shit. So
I mean, bro, it's as simple as say we got all the funds to build a business, right? And there's the question we brainstorming, right? We sit down, we said, okay, what are we gonna create? We're gonna create a business that is conducive to life, or we're gonna conduce a business that's conducive to death. And we got to keep it real. We can't. And majority of the things that is presented is death. It's fact. Things. If you gonna open up a restaurant, I mean, obviously, I mean, and meat and a lot of different other things like that or whatever. So
yeah, your mic breaking up bad, Chief. Chief. Yeah, man, Chief Holiday breaking up. Chief, maybe you need to go out and come back in.
Check, mic check.
You heard me? Once you go out and come back in, because I couldn't hear the last 30 seconds of what you said. No, it's still muddled. Well, I'm gonna rock out for about like another 20 or whatever. Yeah, but I mean, you want to go out and come back in? We still want. All right, he went out and went back in. All right, but yeah, man. I mean, like I said, man, diet is something that's very important too, man. And you have to be a vegan, but at least detox daily. I mean, not daily, but at least try to do two good detox year round. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people, a lot of people vegans and everything, but like I said, you have to definitely detox. You have to teach your children nutrition, what to get and what not to get when they go in stores or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like fruit and all that shit. Eating at least eating a couple of raw meals a day will be good. You know what I'm saying? Even if it is a fruit or if it is a vegetable, you know what I'm saying? That's the type of stuff you have to promote to your children, man. Like, and you have to teach them so they won't go in there and make the wrong mistakes, man. You got, like I said, you got children in there drinking blue sodas and yellow, like, yo, it's just ridiculous. And the parents don't have no mind state in order to try to help their children. At least, like I said, your nutrition is something that you should know about. That's not something that should have to teach you. That should be something that you should seek for yourself and educate yourself on. It's basic stuff that everyone should be educated on. And one of the most important is nourishment, man. And if you got children and your children don't know how to properly eat, like I said, you send them to school drinking white milk and going to stores in the morning time buying candy, and then when you go food shop and all you buy is all this shit with high fructose corn syrup, all these sweets, and even oodles and noodles, man. None of that shit is good for you. You know what I'm saying? So you got to learn first of all about nutrients and like how to, like, you know what I'm saying, how to get like some of these negative images. People still watch Love and Hip Hop every fucking week religiously. You know what I'm saying? And that shit ain't nothing but like a fucking wrestling match every week. You know what I'm saying? And that's something you putting into your brain that ain't productive, that you ain't getting, you know what I'm saying? You're not getting no smarter, you're not getting no enlightenment from it. So I'm gonna let Chief rock out and then we gonna end it. So Chief, go ahead, go rock it out.
Yeah, man. Peace to all the Aboriginal kings and queens out there, man. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the input, man. Very astute chat room. I mean, man, listen, it's gonna take. I mean, somebody said, it's gonna take. It took 500 years to get in this position. It's gonna take 500 years to get out of it. I don't think so. They didn't have the internet. They didn't have all the tools and things that we have. Um, and we can't expect for them to do it. We can't expect for nobody to do it. We got to be the ones to create the change that we want to see for our people. You know what I'm saying? And knowing who we are is the main thing. So when you ask most Americans who they don't know. So knowing who you are is the primary thing that you need to know before anything else. And attaching our children back to this land is the number one priority. Not knowing whether or not the meta nature has been deciphered, whether how flat the earth is. I mean, my thing is, how could you talk about that every day? Like, I don't know. I don't even talk about Aboriginal every day. But every day, like something that you can't change. Hey, man, the sun is blah 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 blah. Okay, what are we gonna do with that? So I just think we gotta prioritize what we're what we're doing, and education is the absolute thing. And history and knowing who you are, I mean, it's the absolute be doing as a people. Period. And you should never, ever, 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 ever let the invader teach your children. So I don't even have I don't even have the thought pattern of them even teaching my child. Me sending my child to schools to be taught by them, anything. I just, I feel like as a people, we have to situate ourselves in our lives so we don't have to children to be taught by them. Just period.com. And even work for other people. So we have to set up institutions that yeah, if that definitely has a apparatus of job creation and certain things. That's Black power. Are you creating jobs? Are you creating certain things or whatever? Not just out here talking and having certain things, but are we creating jobs? And that's the goal, to be able to create jobs for our people, create businesses, create um, industry. So I think that's definitely an institution that needs to be set up. Now I had shout out Dr. Ali Muhammad earlier, right? But I know he works on this thing where you have a like say for instance, you're incorporating your business, it'll be incorporated through indigenous company, your company be indigenous in certain things or whatever. That's the goal for us to be doing business and creating our own avenues and certain things, banks and certain stuff like that. And you don't have to have a brick and mortar bank to have a bank. Now everything's digital. You know what I mean? Like that's the same thing I thought about when we talk about Umar School. Why does it have to be a brick and mortar school? You can only house so many students that way. This way, if you have a virtual school, you can reach more people.
Yo, hey
What do you
Chief.
think about that? Oh, brother?
Chief,
Yeah.
look, he could have been started school with with $500,000. He could have basically incorporated it, but he's saying that he didn't want to get funds from nowhere else. He was gonna have to do something. He was gonna have to incorporate it somehow as a business. I don't know how he has it incorporated. Do he have an EIN and all that? I don't know if he went about it through them areas. But if he did go through them areas, then what I would have did was, and it's just for the people up here. I would have took that money and put that right into a business account. Left that money there all that time. No, but check it out.
Yeah, like,
Look. I would have took that money, put it in a business account, LLC, then did everything else, and then I would have took out more money. Like I guess he's not trying to get, but you're gonna have to have some recurring money. Now I guess he don't want to get the people involved. I understand, but if he was gonna get the people involved, he could have just had like donations or had like he would have it would have had to be some type of fee for the children to go there. Now charging the people to go there. You heard me, Chief? Was he charging people like a tuition or anything?
y'all hadn't even got to that far. But my point is though, he could created a website and service so many children. What's up, brother? You know what I'm saying? Created a virtual school. That's the wave. Why would I have to take my like? Okay, even if you just went to one place, then that means it would only could be for children that were in that location, or somebody got to send their children all the way across country or some stupid stuff. You're talking about Africa, man. If you have a virtual school, you could teach thousands, tens of thousands of children. You can create jobs. You can create satellites. Okay, well, they can meet in certain areas, set up retail spaces or whatever. You could have did that by creating a website.
And you know what?
$100,000 website.
He could have created a curriculum. You heard me? He could have created a curriculum and sold it like for homeschooling, like made videos to where like people could have followed the curriculum and teach their children that, and then somehow got like some type of educational certificates or whatever. It's a lot of different things that could have been done with that money. He could have bought a building just enough to supply like, you know what I'm saying, 100 people, 200 people.
But he don't have no advisors, and he's just doing everything by himself. So think of it from that perspective too, though. So it's him humbling himself and say, okay, well, I need some people to work with me to do these certain things or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And let's just keep it real. The last person he was working with was the stripper scandal that he got into. Which, if that would have been me, y'all, I'd have been telling y'all straight up. I'd have been like, man, fuck y'all, it's my business. I like women. Piece of that sister.
You know what, though? After hearing that, it wasn't what people thought. See, most of us, because they heard she was a stripper, thought he went into a strip club and met her. He met her at an event and later on found out she was a stripper. He did not go. It ain't like he was in a strip club throwing money to her and he was dating her. That's not the case. She was at an event and he met her and he didn't even know she was a stripper until after he started dealing with her. And then all of the stuff came out. So that's a whole nother story with that right there. But you know what I'm saying? A lot of brothers do that, like blowing that way out of proportion. Like, when he said the story, she said the same story. She ain't say she was in a strip club and he was in there throwing money and shit. He said she met him at an event. and then he started talking to her. So I mean, but like I said, with the school thing, he could have been started something. I guess he may have a bigger vision than what we talking about, or what any of our opinions is, or whatever. But one thing I can say, like I said, man, I learned a lot from Omar Johnson on certain things. He do have some good information. You know what I'm saying? Even though that, at times he can be cocky, and what I'm saying, and he can, like, what I'm saying, he can self-proclaim himself to be certain things or whatever. But nonetheless, though, I have definitely watched a lot of Umar Johnson videos. Like I've like literally watched a lot of his shit, and like I said, a lot of people who I studied, or who, like, what I'm saying, who I learned from, I definitely don't wish them no ill demise or any ill intentions. Um, I don't know, man. Like I said, man, definitely, no matter, even if they is teaching the so-called African doctrine or whatever. Like, that's, like I said, some people had to go through that to get here where we at now. I had to go through that for me to get here. You know what I'm saying? It's just an understanding of thinking you something other than being a slave, or something other than what we was taught that happened to us here. So what I'm saying? Like I said, man, definitely I don't want no ill demise to come to him or any of these brothers out here who teaching that stuff, man. A lot of them brothers just misinformed. A lot of these brothers is really, what I'm saying, real good brothers or whatever. If you meet them, you definitely can build them. Like you said, brother Garfield. A lot of these brothers, okay brothers. We just don't agree on this topic. I ain't sitting there like, oh, I hate you, I hate your mother, or none of this crazy shit. It's not even worth going through them. It's like, yo, we just had a misunderstanding on information. And like I said, I've listened to the Amara Squad. I've been like frustrated listening to them, because you have jokers who call in and they have a good perspective, but this is pseudo, like, and they, like I said, so it's a lot though. But like, shout out to all the brothers, anybody who come with any information, because you got to come through somewhere to get to where you're trying to go. You know what I'm saying? And even if it's Christianity, you know what I'm saying? For some people, enlightenment is Christianity. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm not with none of the religious doctrines or whatever, though. But for some people, that shit liberates them. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it is what it is, man. I'm here to teach my Aboriginal information. I'm definitely not here. You got people, trolls or whatever. Listen, I embrace them. I don't care. I don't care if a motherfucker troll, because the research and the images and the shit that you see is evident, man. If you don't believe by now that it was already black people here, then you're a fool. You are pseudo. Because if you can't see evidence for what it is, you know what I'm saying? It's straight evidence. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people out there, the viewers, a lot of people who see the videos or whatever, they believe it no matter. Yeah, if sometimes, you know what I'm saying, like I said, I contradict myself. I might be incorrect. I don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? I don't know everything. And there's no researcher out there, no Native American researcher that you could contact that work for none of these universities can tell you none of the shit that I'm telling you. And I'm telling you, I've contacted some of these people. There's a researcher out in North Carolina, I forget the lady name. I have talked to her. As soon as I mentioned the word Aborigine, she ended the call. You understand what I'm saying? She ended the call as soon as I mentioned the word Aborigine. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these researchers out there who people give these scholarly, you know what I'm saying, credibilities to, they only as good as the research that they research. So with that being said, Chief, you got something you want to say before I end it? I will be back on. We'll be back on Sunday night, around 10 Eastern. I guess if you out in the other time zones, you know what time 10 Eastern will be or whatever though. But I will have a different topic on, like I said, trying to reach out to some of these people to where we could have a dialogue and whatever. We could just start having some of these people, at least, like I said, at least understand we can have our dialogue, man. But don't come with the Amistad shit. Don't come with the slavery. If you come here, you better know about Indian slavery. You better know about a lot of topics in which I discuss, or you're gonna get burnt. So with that being said, you got something you want to say before I end it, Chief?
Yeah, man. Another great night. Yeah, man. Shout out to the family, man. Thanks for all the support, man. I mean, it's just like you said, bro. At this point, these people have no information, and I used to listen to Umar a long time ago, but it's like, okay, you can only hear the same stuff so much. Y'all follow where I'm going with this? Like, and I feel what you're saying too. Like, it's steps, and I think sometimes people just get stuck in that same conversation. Like, even with Yvette, shout out to her, but it just sounds like, you listen to somebody that just she got a master's degree in African American studies. You know what I'm saying? And it was true. It was set up by the CIA and its COINTELPRO, and to misdirect us from our birthright, which is our land here in Northern America. So yeah, man. So man, shout out to you, man, for all the hard work and the digging up of these documents and the things that you're bringing out. There's irrefutable evidence for people that need those type of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get a lot of my information, man. I tell people this all the time. I got a little cheat, you know what I'm saying, from their ancestors. You know what I mean? You got to be able to tap into your genetic memory. That's real. So some of this stuff y'all know, man. Y'all know y'all was here. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, man, you got the people that arguing against this. I mean, it just sounds crazy, bro. Like, it's like, hey, it'd be like, man, arguing with a kid about Santa. Like, yo, Santa's not real. They still be like, no, I seen him, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, we show irrefutable evidence that they enslaved the Aboriginal people of this land. And then they just declassified, changed names over the years to African American. That's just a fact. So when you dig up bones to match, they matching us to these bones, you can't be a full-blooded mixed person. That makes no sense, family. So shout out to you, man. Like I said, bro, you show those images, man. Those images you showed the other day was great. I definitely like to do a show where we can just going through the images and showing and talking to the people about these images and stuff like that or whatever. Showing the pyramids here. I mean, everything, man. It's just too much information for the family, man. So shout out to you, bro. Keep putting in that work.
Just to touch on them images, man. Shout out, thanks, Chief. I appreciate you too as well. Like, yeah, man, but though them images, if I never seen them images, I would never be I would never be making none of them videos because I would be under the influence too. But you have to look at it. Pictures tells a story. How the fuck how do we learn anything if we wasn't there? If people don't have pictures, damn pictures only made 150 years ago, or maybe I might be wrong, but like in the 1800s. So prior to that, everything else was pictures. So if you get pictures of certain images that just doesn't fit the narrative, then you have to start redirecting the way you think. Especially when, like I said, when I seen that American picture of them Europeans carrying that melanated, I said, man, the gig is up, man. I said, nah. I said, nah. I couldn't believe that shit. I could not believe it. I was like, yo, I could not believe it. And then, like I said, man, the images don't lie. The reason that they got these people, these indentured servers working on these tobacco fields, because them was the Powhatans or whatever tribe that they was in that region of Virginia when they first got there. So look, I'm gonna end the night, man. Comment, like, subscribe, man. Like I said, we'll be back on Sunday. I'm trying to get you guys some additional work, and just understand this, man. Like, people invest their time and what I'm saying, working out. People invest their time in, what I'm saying, like I said, these reality shows, loving hip hop, watching, even YouTube. People got their favorite shit on YouTube, or certain YouTube subscribers like Yvette, what's the name, and Dr. My man name, man. Dr. With the glasses. I can't think of his name. It's just eluding me right now. But a lot of people they like to watch, man. Your culture and what you say? Chief got lost.
Yeah, no, I said Dr. Boyce Watkins.
Yeah, Dr. Watkins and So on, man. A lot of people, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, for years, I listened to jokers like Aline Bay and Duke of Tiz and a lot before was a lot of these people, man. You know what I'm saying? Before was a lot of Aborigines that was talking this, man. It was only a few people talking this shit, like about up to like 8 years ago. It was not a lot of people talking about this, man. It was not a lot of people talking about this. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I always give shout outs to like, Tyrone Street, Aborigine One, Curry Davis, you know what I'm saying, all the brothers who put that work in because they put some good work in or whatever. Whether or not they got their differences with certain things, like I said, a lot of people got differences with the Moors. I don't have no problem with Moors. I don't have no problem with Hebrews or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. I'm not trying to debate none of them. All I'm trying to debate is the fact that we was here. Everything else is personal, and people got to deal with that on their own. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I accept Drew Ali. Drew Ali came with some good information, whether people like him or they don't like him. And that's where we have to go on our own thing. Everybody got their individual people they like. Some people like Gandhi. You know what I'm saying? Which Gandhi was a race. Some people got, people, scholars or people who they read. Read the works of Drew Ali, man, just so you'll get an understanding of them. You know what I'm saying? If people study everything else, just check them out. I'm not telling you you don't have to convert to nothing. Just check out the studies of the doctrines. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Moors have only been around since like maybe, according to what we like, the new Moors like the 2000s. So let's check out what Drew Ali said, man. I mean, it ain't nothing trying to convert nobody. I don't want nobody coming on here like, oh man, I already listen. You already know what I say. Like I said, me studying the Moors or me going through Drew Ali or whatever was something personal. I'm not telling you that everybody have to go that route or whatever, but I'm definitely telling you the information is definitely some information that you can use. So with that being said, I'm the Thompson's one. Peace to all the people in the chat, man. I love you. I love the subscribers. I love everybody who's trying to find their culture or trying to find out where their origin started from, man. So love and light to everybody. Peace to Chief Holiday and peace to all the Aborigines in North America. With that being said, I'm the Thompson's one and I'm out. Peace.